the mindset, the storyline stuff that I put into my head, Skeener, was that like Randy saying to Cody, this was supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be Drew.
That little touch was so good.
Yes, and it just made me feel like he's saying that because, brother, I let go of that missile weeks ago. Like, you weren't supposed to be standing here.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's you, man, and this sucks because I'm about to wipe you off the planet. Welcome to the Lariat Lounge. This is home of smart takes, hard hits, and real talk. I'm your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens. Skeener, somehow, sir, it is starting to feel more and more like WrestleMania season.
That's what I left you all with last week. I said buckle up because it's about to start, and start it did.
Oh yeah, it feels like WWE has plans that they're working on, and it seems very fair to say, even if you have some skepticism about what's happening, take a deep breath. You've still got 4 to 5 weeks. And you reminded me last episode, I believe, that the WrestleMania promo to the feud that I think about quintessentially when I think about WrestleMania, Stone Cold and The Rock, was put together in what, 6 weeks?
I think a little less than that, but yeah.
Might have been 5 weeks, maybe,
think 5.
something like that.
I think the build to that was 5, yeah.
So, I mean, look, that made me rethink my position on some things. And lo and behold, Friday comes around last week, and business is picked up. So, you listen.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. And suffice it to say, I'm not going to bury the lead here, but there is an aspect of Friday Night SmackDown that has honestly quickly become the thing I'm looking forward to the most. And all credit due to the performers involved. The storyline, the storytelling that they're doing, I think is really creative. We'll get to that for sure. But before we get into anything, Skeener, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Aside from the 8 inches of snow that got dumped on us Sunday night.
What?
Yeah, we had a little snow come through, but it is what it is. Hopefully the last big one of the season, and it can start warming up here because I'm tired of the cold.
You know, you say a little bit of snow, and then you say 8 inches.
Yeah, it's about half of what we got the last big snow, so.
Yeah, no. See, for us, 8 inches, that shuts the city down.
Pause.
That shuts everything down. Nothing goes at 8 inches.
Speaking of Cody, speaking of Raheem.
Look, hold on.
Off to a good start.
8 inches should not be Raheem. If he's calling Raheem off of 8, then I'm gonna look at Brandy and I'm gonna say, hey, you should have pumped the brakes on that Raheem stuff a long time ago. Just trying
we must live in different worlds then.
We do, apparently.
Okay.
But hey, listen, I'm glad you're over there surviving. I'm glad the snow hasn't, done you all in. I'm over here doing all right, man. The weather here is fluctuating as if somehow there's a climate crisis.
Yeah, I've heard from my my folks in West Virginia that it's been a little back and forth down there.
Brother, one day I woke up to go to work. It was at 4:30 in the morning. It was 73 degrees, right? I left the house thinking, oh, this is wonderful. I don't even need to bring a coat. You know what I'm saying? I heard it's like a shower later on. I'm going to bring my little umbrella. That's cool. I go into work, man. I'm chilling. At 2:30, when I leave the building, it is like 30-something degrees and snowing. Yep. What kind of spread is that? That is insane. And then yesterday we were under a freaking tornado watch. We never have tornadoes around here. Like I have no words except no tornado came through. The snow has gone.
Good.
And I'm genuinely waiting for the weather to figure its life out.
Me too.
So that we can get on business.
I just need spring and some warmth.
It's on its way, brother. It's on its way, just like WrestleMania is on its way. Allegedly. Listen, it better show up.
At least we know WrestleMania is going to happen.
True. And they're selling tickets at discount right now.
Yep. 31.6% off.
When's the last time that has happened? when tickets have gone on
Yeah, long
sale,
time.
you know what I'm saying? Before WrestleMania, and this far ahead of WrestleMania. Like, I'm just saying, they're trying to fill these seats.
They are.
I was looking at some stuff for my flight to Milwaukee, which, by the way, I was not able to get changed. And so I'm going to have to hang out in the Chicago airport for like 3 hours.
Just uh just to fly 90 miles up the road.
Brother, it's genuinely frustrating. But what was even more
Get it?
frustrating was trying to get on the phone with someone.
Oh, you're not gonna talk to you're not gonna you think you're gonna talk to a human?
I
You're
was
gonna talk to a
hoping
you're gonna talk to a person on the phone?
I was
No.
hoping to talk to somebody so that I could at least try to, hey, let's just ixnay on the last part of my flight A and we can just end it in Chicago. But
Oh no.
that was it was no going. And I just got getting bounced back and forth between Priceline and
Now you
United.
now you could. They're just not gonna give you your money back.
Oh, so I thought about that,
You
right? I
could.
was like, hey, I could just get to Chicago, you could pick me up and we could go. Problem is,
We'll have to go pick up your bag at the airport later, but
yes, there would send my flight. And here's the other thing too.
we could grab a bite to eat in Chicago and then meet your bag at the airport.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? Also, if I don't show up for the second leg of my flight, the bags are going to go to Milwaukee because that's where they were, the
Yeah.
flight that they were on anyway. But they're going to cancel the rest of my flight because I no showed. So I'd be stuck in Milwaukee.
They'd cancel your second leg?
Yes, because I didn't show
I
up
guess
for the
I've
flight.
never I guess I've never tried that.
Me either.
Tried it yourself.
I never walked away from a part of my flight. So
Yeah, probably not worth risking it.
no, it's really not. And trying to
Chicago
find a
airport's not bad. You can walk around, get something to eat. So
yeah, it's just 3 hours. Like, what am I gonna do for 3 hours? But I don't know. I'll figure it out. But WrestleMania is on its way. I'm getting excited because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about, and I feel like the main events are going to be really good. But then some of this undercard stuff is going to be really good too. I'm looking forward to that as well. But hey, before we get into any of that, Skeena, please let everyone know where they can catch the Lariat Lounge in all of its glory.
the Lariat Lounge, we're coming at you on YouTube as a video podcast once a week, every week. Go to YouTube, search the Lariat Lounge. That's where you'll find the show, both video and audio format every week. That's where you'll go for our PLE live streams. WrestleMania is coming up. We'll be together doing that one. New little twist on the format. If you still like just the audio podcast, you can still catch us on all your favorite platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your shows, you'll find the Lariat Lounge. We're over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. You can interact with us there. Send us DMs. We've got merch over at Pro Wrestling Tees, Pro Wrestling Tees / the Lariat Lounge. That's where you can get us, prowrestlingtees.com / the Lariat Lounge. We had 4 designs up there last week. I believe we have 5 up there
We
now. Is
got
that correct?
6 now. We got
6
6.
now. So you got
The
brand new
two
ones.
new designs just got approved today. So if you want the new Lariat Lounge double L t-shirt with our
There
hand
you
sign,
go.
because we have a hand sign now.
Do
Because
we?
every great faction has one. We've got
Okay,
a hand sign. It's the
that's
double
news
L.
to me.
It's the
Okay,
double L.
I got it. I'm
All
good
right.
there.
So we got the new double L t-shirt, and we've got, that's my favorite, the double L t-shirt. And we have the Lariat Lounge since 2025 t-shirt.
Okay, there you go. So
So
2 new designs up there for you
2
all to
new
check out.
designs.
ProWrestlingTees.com / the Lariat Lounge. That's where you can get your merch. And last but not least, as always, the email inbox is open at thelariatlounge@gmail.com.
Yes, and we have an email today
We do.
from one of our listeners. We will read that at the end of the show. So stay tuned. We'll get to that. It's a good email. It's a good email. I read it already.
I like it as well.
So it's a good email. I like it too. But hey, listen, guys, we really do appreciate you guys listening and checking us out wherever you do. And wherever you're listening, please leave us a like rating. It is a free thing for you, but for us, it genuinely means the world. As I stated last week, we moved up in the rankings. We're 127 in the country for Pro Wrestling Podcast on Apple. So thank to you guys for making that happen, because we couldn't do it without you. So please leave us a like rating. It really does matter. Your voice matters. So let it be heard that you like the Lariat Lounge. We're going to show up for you every single week. But hey, enough with the fluff. let's get to the stuff. So, Skeener, someone reached out on the one of the videos from last week. I think it was our video from last
Oh,
week,
okay.
and they left a comment.
Must have been
And
after I checked it out.
they asked if we could continue to cover AAA.
Oh, that was Gage. Yes.
Oh, so that's Gage's.
I did see that.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's his.
That was, I did see. Yeah, that was Gage.
Okay, well, what's up, Gage? I didn't realize that was your handle. So yes, he was like, continue covering AAA. I'm enjoying AAA. I truly am. So that is not a problem. And the Rey de Reyes was this past weekend, and it was very, very good. It was very, very good. So I've got those results pulled up, and we're going to cover that really quickly, and then we're going to get to the main event, admittedly, which is SmackDown and Raw. Because listen, SmackDown and Raw was freaking crazy. So we've got the Rey de Reyes, which is the King of Kings. We opened the show with Penta and Rey Fenix, and they were opening the show, introducing us to the Rey de Reyes and all of its glory. Thank you to Rey Mysterio for translating everything as best he could. And then we got on to our first match, which was Flamer, and she was defending the Reina de Reyes, which is the Queen of Queens title, against a mystery opponent. And that mystery opponent turned out to be none other than Bayley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, because you didn't watch this, so this is new.
Correct.
Okay. So
yeah,
yes,
this is all I'm getting it from your recap. So
Awesome.
do it justice.
Awesome. So the mystery opponent was Bayley. Bayley comes out, the crowd loses their mind, right? And Bayley comes out. They have a really, really great match. Bayley does really awesome, but she ends up falling victim to Flamer, who continues on as the Reina de Reinas champion. Our next match was the Rey de Reyes finals. So this is a 4-man match. It's a 4-man match. What is it called in WWE? The Fatal 4-Way.
Okay,
So it's Fatal 4-Way rules. So no disqualifications, no countouts, pinfalls, and submissions. Right. So our participants were El Grande Americano, original El Grande Americano.
Okay.
We also had La Parca, and we had God, what is his name? Santos Escobar. He recently returned to AAA.
Oh, okay.
So we had a really great match here. And listen, Santos is awesome. La Parca is freaking amazing. Like, he's amazing. Some of the stuff that guy does in the ring is freaking miraculous. It's awesome. But he's really cool. But I'd be remiss if I did not say that most of the focus was on Grande versus Grande. Americano versus Americano. And at the end of this, Americano and OG Americano end up fighting over the barrier out into the crowd, and they seemingly take themselves out of the match, right? So now it's a one-on-one between La Parca and Santos Escobar. So they're trading back and forth. They're doing their thing. All of a sudden, out of the entranceway comes El Grande Americano. Not OG, but the new El Grande Americano. He comes out being helped back to the ring by officials. He looks really beat up, right? But he gets back to the ring, and there's no OG Americano, right? Then all of a sudden, the camera pans up into the rafters, and you have Rayo and Bravo with OG Americano, and they're beating him up, and then they handcuff him to the railing.
How high are these rafters? Like, are we talking like?
He's in the second set of seats, right? So you have like your floor seats, and they go up, and then you have the balcony, and then the upper seats. So he's right at the bottom of the upper seats, right, where you look over the railing and stuff like that. So they've got him up there, and they handcuff him to the railing. So now he's stuck. He can't get out of the handcuffs, right? Mm-hmm. So then the match is this 3-way, and your winner, the new Rey de Reyes, El Grande Americano.
Oh.
So now he has the sword, and it puts him as the #1 contender for the AAA Mega Championship. So moving on to that match, it was Dominic Mysterio versus El Hijo del Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. And long story short, Dominic Mysterio is still your AAA Mega Champion. However, Dom took a nasty fall outside of the ring, and he hit his head on the floor, and I believe he got a concussion.
So that is why he was not medically cleared on Monday, per Adam
Correct.
Pearce. Okay.
Correct. And to be honest, he looked pretty loopy. Like, he finished the match. He never got, like, the match never stopped. But there were some points in the ring where he looked like he was moving a little sluggish.
Okay.
And so you could kind of tell something was wrong. But he handled it like a pro. And Vikingo obviously, was doing what he needed to do to make sure that A, the match continued the way it should, and that B, he didn't injure himself further. But yeah, he ended up winning the match. I believe there were some shenanigans. There were some people who got involved. It wasn't the Judgment Day, but Vikingo's crew, which is Omos,
Okay.
showed up to the ring, and he was attempting to do something. Oh, Dom got help from Mini Vikingo.
Oh,
So
okay.
as the story goes, a few weeks back, Mini Vikingo was competing in a qualifier for the Rey de Reyes, right? And he lost. And apparently he had been on somewhat of like a losing streak. And so Vikingo and Omos visited him, I guess, in the backstage area.
Mhm.
And they officially told him that he can no longer be Mini Vikingo.
Okay.
And then they proceeded to beat his ass thoroughly. And they injured him, right? So then, like, the following week, they did an angle where Mini Vikingo is in the hospital, and he's got a neck brace on, he's laying in the bed, and they pulled the old, like, Stone Cold Vince McMahon thing.
Yeah.
And he's laying in the hospital, and Vikingo is outside the hospital, and he's telling Dom what's going to happen to him at Rey de Reyes, right? And he's got a doctor's jacket on, and he's saying, like, when you challenge me, this is what's going to happen to you. And then he goes into the room, and you see Mini Vikingo, and he's got the neck brace on, and then he proceeds to beat his ass again. And so Mini Vikingo shows up, and he causes Vikingo to lose the match, and Dom gets the upper hand. And
Gotcha.
then Dom and Mini Vikingo beat Omos with a chair, and then they pin Vikingo, and he remains champ. So we're going into this week with some stakes here. We'll see what Dom has to say about this. What is Vikingo going to do to Mini Vikingo when he gets his hands on him? You've got El Grande Americano, who is now Mr. Rey de Reyes. And so he's the number one contender for Dom's AAA Mega Championship. But last time I checked, they were cool. And so there may be something there that's going to come of that. So we'll have to see. But there is your AAA Wrestling 5 minutes.
So do most of the gimmicks have a mini counterpart, or just
some of the big
few?
ones?
Okay.
Some of the big ones. Some of the select big ones have minis, but I've only seen like a few. Like, I've seen Mini Vikingo. I believe there may be like a Mini La Parka.
Okay.
And there's someone else who has a mini too, but I think I've only seen like 3. But yeah, no, not everyone has a mini. But that is something that was introduced at the start of AAA, and it's been a thing. They love it. And so the minis compete sometimes. They're usually in like multi-man matches. But like Mini Vikingo is just like a teenager. He's just a young guy. But then they have some minis who are like little people. And so it just really varies. But yeah, that is your AAA 5 minutes. I'm gonna come up with a better name for that. I don't know. I don't know. I'll come up with something, maybe AAA moments or the AAA corner or something. But we will talk AAA whenever we talk wrestling, because I am enjoying AAA, and I'm glad that there's some listeners out there who enjoy AAA too. But now let's move on to the main event. So SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy. So where do we begin? I think we should just like not bury the lead here. We can get back to some of the other things. We're definitely going to touch on Jade Cargill and Meechin, because that's must see television right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
you've been waiting on it.
I have, and the subsequent follow up, which there's a conversation to be had about that as well. And we will definitely will we touch on Jelly Roll? Maybe. There's not a lot to talk about besides the fact that Miz got cursed, and that's likely the reason why he got punched.
But there is a way to undo the curse, apparently.
Did he say what that was?
No, he didn't. But Danhausen did allude to the fact that there was a way.
I
You
did
want to
not
do?
know that was a thing.
I didn't either, but he said as much.
So let's see. Trick Williams versus Jacob Fatu.
Hmm.
And let's see. So we know what Drew is doing for WrestleMania now.
Seemingly, they have
It
a match
seems.
next. They have a match next week, though.
See, that's the thing. And I'm glad you reminded me of that because that's what made me wonder about this. And
Yeah.
obviously we know what Cody's doing now,
Mhm.
which we are about to get to imminently, promise. But in light of the fact that we know what Cody's doing now, I would think that you're going to have Jacob Fatu and Trick Williams. But if you're doing it next week,
No, we're doing Jacob Fatu and Drew next week.
oh, that's what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Jacob
Oh,
Fatu
you
and
think
Drew.
we're
Excuse
doing
me.
okay? Well, we
We're
were on
doing
a different
Jacob Fatu and Drew next week. So why we do that if they're going to be wrestling each other at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that throws me off a little bit too.
The only thing I could think of, is if this turns into a triple threat.
Yeah,
If this turns into a triple threat, who is that third person? I'd love for it to be Trick. I can't imagine that WWE is going to leave him off the card.
no
And,
chance.
you know what I'm saying? And not
He's
capitalize
gonna
on the
be
pop.
doing he's gonna be doing something because he gets a huge reaction every week. He got a big win over Jacob Fatu, but he gets to be in a segment pretty much every week, even if he
Yep.
doesn't have a match, bumping heads against. It's been Randy Orton in the past. It's been Sammy this week too. He got
True.
he got to talk to Sammy, so maybe it's Trick and Sammy. Who knows? Because we planted the seeds for that a while back, and we don't know what Sammy's going to do. So I could see there's a lot of options for Trick, but he will be involved for sure.
And see, that's another thing too, right? Because like Sammy has been doing some really interesting things lately.
I think he has as well.
He's been doing some
Unfortunately,
interesting stuff lately.
Alistair Black, Alistair Black and Zelina popped up to involve themselves.
I'm
But
telling you, dude, Alistair Black and Zelina are doing the freaking
yes,
they're doing the Karrion Cross Scarlet
yes.
bit.
And
Like,
why would they do that? It got the last guy fired.
you're crazy. It did not get him fired. That had nothing to do with
No,
him getting
but like,
fired.
okay, you know
What
what?
I'm
I'm
speaking
gonna
to is
keep
the
saying it
idea that he got canned and they just literally gave the gimmick to Zelina
Yeah, they
and
did.
Alistair Black. Which, if it was me, listen, I don't work there, but it would be difficult for me because I'd be stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? I want to get TV time. I want to get on air. I want to have something to do each week. The more I have to do, the better off my career will be. But what you hand me is someone else's gimmick. And it seems like there are very few changes to this gimmick. And I have to think that WWE purposely took Zelina away from being a regular competitor in the women's division to put her with Alistair so that they could do this. And I can't say I would have turned it down, but I think I might have felt some kind of way about being handed someone else's shtick and being told, hey, just do that. Just do the thing that the other guy was doing and it'll get you on TV.
I mean, I don't really think that's how it went. I think this is Alistair's shtick, and it's just not that good.
So you think Alistair's shtick, his pitch to creative, was to do what Karrion Cross did?
Essentially, yes, I think that's his ideas.
You know,
Is to be this dark, brooding guy that brings out the evil in everyone. Yes, that sounds exactly like something
it
he
does.
would pitch.
It does. And
And
it truly
Zelina
does.
was probably like, "Yeah, that'll work. Let me be part of this. We can be the nice husband and wife team." And it doesn't work. At least to the level they think it might. I don't know. I'm assuming, obviously, but yeah, I think it's just that's the idea, and unfortunately, the idea is so similar to stuff other people have had for years and years and years, and it never
Yeah.
really works.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I think it's where I'm at. I can agree with that. I can agree that this possibly was something that he pitched, that he wanted to do. And it just so happens that the idea
'cause
that
this
he
is
pitched
kinda
is
like
the
the
same
thing.
basic idea.
Yeah, it's the stuff he did when he left WWE, and then the stuff he did in AEW. It's all kinda like this, and it just never really hits as a home run.
And the crazy thing is, so there was a significant period between when Sean O'Hare did this and then when Karrion Cross did it. Many, many years, right?
Yeah, I'm
And
sure, but it's It's popped up over
That's
the indies.
what I'm gonna say, right? Like there have been people who have done it, but they didn't lean so far into it the way that Sean O'Hare did, and then how Karrion Kross did, right? We haven't had characters specifically set like that in a very long time. There have been people who dabbled, but not so much as those two. But there was a significant period of time to where there are some people who could legitimately not even know who Sean O'Hare is, who that character even was, right? To tie him and Karrion Kross and the similarity between those characters at the time together. But like, it ain't even been 6 months. Like, it hasn't even
I
been
think it
6
has,
months.
hasn't it? It's
No,
been
when did Karrion Kross got released? When
like last June-ish, right?
was it? June?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I'll look it up. But
Yeah, pull it up because listen, if it's been longer than 6 months, fine. That's an
I think
arbitrary
it
number I
has.
pulled. But I mean, does it make a whole lot of difference if it's still within the year?
Okay, so August 10th. So
August,
more than
September,
6
October,
months.
November, December, January, February. Okay, yeah. So yes, it's been more than 6 months, but still, it's so fresh. But at the same time, you're also in the mid card, and you're also not likely to be doing anything outside of the mid card. So I'm pretty sure whoever was back there probably was just like, yeah, sure, rubber stamp. And
Correct. And that's the level this is at. Is yeah, sure stuff.
yeah, because it's not going to go any further than this. I mean, here's the thing: if Sammy is tied up with Aleister Black, I need Sami Zayn to go full heel. I think back to the conversation he had with Randy prior to all of this backstage, and Randy told him that maybe you should listen to the voices too.
Hmm.
And it seems like Sami Zayn has been acting in a way that is contrary to how he wants to act. What he wants to put forth is not what he is doing. And he's having a battle within himself as to who he shows up as versus who he wants to be. And I feel like the more and more he goes down this road, the more and more he's letting the beast loose. And I think he should just go full on heel. We've seen Sammy as a heel before, but not like that. You know what I mean? Where he's just a straight up bad guy.
Yeah, he was more weaselly.
Yes. He should become a bad guy. He should lose to Ska, even though I'm a fan of Ska, but lose to Ska, get some new theme music, and just be a heel. I think it will work for him. And honestly, I think that would give him more of an in into the main event picture than him being a face. Because admittedly, I think there's less room at the top of the mountain for faces. There's more room for heels because they win less often. And so you got to have somebody at the baby face is going to fight. And so unless you plan on having the same feud over and over and over again, you need occasional new foes to rotate in. And you've been building this thing between Sammy and Cody, and they're not going to compete against each other at WrestleMania. So you got to pay that off at some point. And
Well,
so
I think it's been more between kind of Sammy and everyone. It's more Sammy's story. And I think we'll get someone plugged into it at WrestleMania. But I've actually, as much as we joke about Sammy from time to time, I think he's been doing really good stuff lately. I like this. I
I
like
agree.
that he comes up with, like you said, he comes up to people with the intention to convey one thing or talk about one thing, and it just for whatever reason he says something wrong or it goes awry, and then he has his reactions and he's having his breakdowns and slamming things and stuff. And I think that's going somewhere. If I had to bet right now today, I would say it's Sammy versus Trick at WrestleMania on one of the nights, and Trick will beat him and further contribute to or finally push Sammy over the edge here into whatever that eventual end is.
Because you booked Trick to win, I'm all for that.
I mean,
I
I would assume that's the way it's going now.
True, well, true, because the likelihood of Trick getting inserted into Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre as a triple threat, it's a reach.
Yeah, but I mean, but he did have, the Jacob Fatu interaction too.
He did. You talking about
Trick,
Sammy.
like
Oh,
or
Trick.
Trick. I mean, yeah, we had the match, so I could see it.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Trick's had interaction with Drew as well.
Hmm.
He's had interaction with Drew as well. So has Sammy. Sammy has had interactions with Trick. He's had interactions with Jacob. I believe he had interaction with Jacob recently.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember, but
I believe
yeah,
he had something with
it's
Jacob
all very
recently.
fluid. I think we'll see on whether or not Frick gets involved with this Drew Jacob match this coming week. That'll be a big tell, I think.
That's true, true. And listen, we are fast approaching WrestleMania, so whatever it is that they're going to be setting
4
up.
weeks.
Say what now?
We've got 4 weeks. I think
4 weeks. Yeah,
we've got 5 SmackDowns and 4
and 4
Raws.
Raws. Yeah, we have 4 weeks. So whatever it is that they're about to iron out and put into the put the coals into the fire for WrestleMania, I think we're going to start really figuring that stuff out in the next couple weeks, and then you have the remaining 2 weeks
I would hope.
to really do the build.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let's get to the let's get to the main event of Friday, okay? So we have a contract signing between Randy and Cody. Cody comes out first, Randy Orton comes out second, or Randy comes out second and Cody comes out first. I don't know. But they show up to the ring.
Cody came out second because Randy was kind of
was clapping for him.
Was mocking him when he did his woe on the turnbuckle.
I didn't know. I didn't think I saw that.
Yeah, but Randy did a little woe with him.
But Cody comes out there. Randy and Cody are talking. Cody's doing most of the talking. He is glazing Randy up, and he's just telling Randy that, when I came back here to WWE, I didn't come back here with my family and my wife wasn't here, but you were here. And, I'm not your son, I'm not your brother, but I love you, man.
Proud to be one of your boys.
I'm proud to be one of your boys. And then Randy says, if I'm not mistaken, does not Randy say that, like, it wasn't supposed to be like this?
Yeah, it would have been easier. It was supposed to be Drew.
This was supposed to be easier. It was supposed to be Drew. And then Cody cuts him off and says, I can stop you right there. I know that you got to listen to the voices in your head, and I know that you're going to show up at WrestleMania. I just want you to know that after it's all done, I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
And he signs the contract. Randy signs the contract. And then Randy Orton proceeds to lay down one of the best 08 Randy Orton beatdowns we've seen in a very long time. Man, it's so good to see Randy being Randy. Like, Skeener, watching this segment took me back to like 08, 09, where it's like Randy was just vicious and just hurting people. And it was so good. Like, this is where Randy, in my opinion, is really in his bag. Like, he's come back, he's been a face, and the fans have loved him, and Randy's just been able to just kind of be himself and have fun and just live off of the legacy, pun intended, of who Randy Orton is. But this is Randy being the character Randy Orton, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The best part about this, in my opinion, and I'm going to turn this over to you.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy does his beat down on Cody, right? Drops him on the announce table. He has the stairs set up with the backside of the bottom set of stairs around Cody's head. But he gets ushered off before he attacks Cody. The officials separate him. Randy leaves. They're attending to Cody because, Cody bleeds for everything. And, he's bleeding all over the place. And they're attending to Cody. I mean, they really did the angle of that shot really well. And then out of nowhere, Randy just jumps the barrier fast as hell with his chair and just wallop. And the crowd was the star that night because he walloped that chair across those steps and the crowd lost it like Randy just snuck in and murdered Cody. And I was beside myself with glee. But Skeener, your thoughts on that entire angle and what this is setting up going into the next 4 weeks before Mania?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really well done from the moment it starts. I think it's really good because it's kind of clear that, like, Randy gives you a hint when he's like, this was supposed to be easier. This was supposed to be Drew. But then Cody plays it to perfection, as only the Cody character could be like, no, I know what you're gonna say, man. It's all okay. Like we're still gonna be friends after we fight. And then Randy just has to be like, okay, whatever you think, kid. You haven't all those miles with me. You haven't learned a thing. And then Randy does his Randy beat down, and it's absolutely perfect. Everything you went over. He even shoves his good buddy Jelly Roll to the ground
Sure does.
when when Jelly Roll comes out. So Randy, I'm your friend. I'm your guy. He shoves him to the ground, and yeah, and when he came back and whacked the chair against the steel steps like that, that was just a great moment. But I thought like everyone involved made it great.
They
Jelly
did.
Roll, Randy, Cody, it made it great. I thought this was if there's ever a time to get some color, as they say, this was a good time to do it. Sold it, made for a good visual, got it all over social media, got everyone hyped up. But yeah, I think that this is a great start. I think we were all hoping this kind of version of Randy came back. And I think even if there were some misgivings about the title going back to Cody, I think maybe this assuaged some of it because I don't see this working nearly the same way and as well if it's Randy versus Drew and Randy doing this as it's Randy versus Cody. It hits better that he's doing this to his boy, his brother,
Yeah.
rather than his enemy. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited for whatever the next 5 SmackDowns bring and super excited for their match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. Like, look, I can admit I was one of those people who was very clearly like, why did we need to put the title back on Cody? But seeing what it is that they pulled off with Randy, I agree with you 1,000,000%. It puts it in this context that could not have existed if
Hmm.
Cody was not the champion because it really plays into, and honestly, I hate to give it credit, but it plays into a lot of the things that Aleister Black has been saying to Cody, and not Cody, but Randy over the last few months. Because Aleister's been popping up in a lot of people's segments, right? And talking to them about letting whatever it is inside come out to listen to the voices, Randy. And Randy's been kind of like, man, get out of here, you know? But then Randy gets an opportunity to win 15. In my mind, Randy decided that Drew McIntyre is the champion. I want to get 15. I hate Drew. And so I'm going to give in to the voices. And he did this weeks ago, right? Where he kind of gave in, which is why he makes the comment to Sammy backstage about maybe you should listen to the voices too.
Hmm.
Because Sammy wants to get ahead. He wants to be a world champion, and he hasn't been able to be one. And Randy is now going to the biggest show of them all to compete for his 15th. And he's been doing it by listening to his voices. And so he told Cody before Elimination Chamber he wasn't going to continue to make the same mistakes that he made before. And I think that was a precursor to him deciding to listen to the voices, right? And so then when Cody backdoors his way into a championship, well, now you got a problem because Drew is no longer in the crosshairs. Cody is there. And this train has since left the tracks weeks ago, right? Like there's no pulling it back. And that's the mindset, the storyline stuff that I put into my head, Skeeter, was that like Randy was saying to Cody, this was supposed to be easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was supposed
That
to be Drew.
that little touch was so good.
Yes. And it just made me feel like he's saying that because, brother, I let go of that
Yeah.
missile weeks ago. Like
Hmm.
you weren't supposed to be standing here.
Hmm.
But now it's you, man. And this sucks because I'm about to wipe you off the planet.
Yep.
And like Cody, like you stated, which I thought was great, Cody is like, it's okay,
It's
Randy.
all good, man. Yeah, it's all good.
I know at WrestleMania you're gonna have to
Yeah.
listen to the voices, you're gonna have to bring Randy Orton, but I still love you. You don't understand. The beatdown starts now.
Yeah.
Like it starts right now. And it's gonna be more brutal and more vicious than you ever expected. And I love the fact that when we do the promo segment with Randy
Yeah.
on Monday, he's like a completely different person. And I love that. I love that. I love that because it kind of leads into this idea of how split personalities work and how like people who have like what's it, dissociative identity disorder, or DID, how they operate sometimes, right? Sometimes you have different characters in your head, right? They're different people, they have different voices, different inflections, all these things. And then sometimes the identities are the same person. It's just like a switch that's been flipped. And for Randy, it's like he started listening to those voices in his head and a switch flipped. And now you're talking to him and like he sounds like Randy, but he don't sound like Randy. Is it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just works great in whatever promo babyface doofus Cody rolls out with on Friday. I think it's going to play so well into this narrative. And I am so looking forward to this match. I'm willing to say that I think I'm looking forward to this match currently more than I am Punk versus Roman.
That's certainly something you can say, and I'll leave it there. Those are words that you can put together into a sentence and
I
convey a
I
message.
I
But
enjoy the story that they're telling here.
it's great. Do we think there's anything to this mystery person Randy was on the phone with on Monday? Because he wouldn't tell us who he was on the phone with. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a tease or something, or if it's nothing.
I
But
don't know. Like I thought about that.
see, I think it is something. But I also say it tongue in cheek to bring up our good friend Dave Meltzer's postulating on this
Ay, ay, ay.
because
What did he say?
well, because Randy said, he ended. I think he ended his. Well, he didn't give Michael Cole an interview, but he ended what he was saying with. Wrestling does have more than one royal family.
He did say that.
Obviously, playing on Cody's fact, and I thought it was pretty clear to me that what that means is like Randy is talking about. Yeah, he's part of a wrestling family too, right? That's.
He did
I
say
thought it's
that.
pretty clear.
He
That's what
did.
he's saying.
Yes, that he did. He
But
did say
no,
that.
Dave has told us that he thinks that Randy's on the phone with Shane McMahon, and Shane's gonna come back with Randy, or maybe even Vince. So that's where we are with the dirt sheets. Just so you know, is that Randy was referencing the McMahon family, and Shane or Vince will be back with Randy.
Okay. The only thing I have to say to that, and I mean, just genuinely honest here. What makes you think that it's Shane? Like
Right. It's what like it's the most off the wall thing I've heard when I thought it's like it's very clearly he's like wrestling has more than one royal family. Yeah, the Ortons are one. Like
that's the
that
Occam's
I think
razor
that's
approach
clearly
here,
what
right?
he's saying.
That is the most obvious thing. But according to Meltzer, no, what he's probably actually talking about is Shane. Like that's a crazy like
Or
it,
Vince. Or
or
Vince.
Vince. That's the wildest thing to just say.
I know, right?
That is the wildest thing to say. Like, where did that come from? There's been no inkling of Shane or Vince around anything dealing with the product at all. Why would that? You know what? I'm just going to cool it on that because, you know,
Right. It's so off the wall that I'm
it's
like,
so
how could another person that watches a lot of wrestling and is supposedly in tune with what's going on here just think that when that gets said?
yeah, it's so random, dude. You could name anybody who's got lineage because it's not even connected to Orton. That's the thing, right? You can name
You know who makes more
anyone.
sense?
Who that?
The Rock. It's not The Rock, but it makes more sense than Shane and Vince
It makes more sense than Shane and
because
Vince
it's
because
Cody.
because of the bloodline.
Yep.
I like that. Yes, it makes no sense for this story, but you can make it make more sense because there are ties here that exist. Like
Mhm.
there are no ties to. Thanks, Dave.
I know.
Thank you for getting my blood pressure up just a little more than where it needed to be for this segment. So I appreciate that. Don't subscribe to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It's garbage.
Buy a Lariat Lounge T-shirt instead.
Yeah,
Take
spend
that
that
money,
money on something that's going to be
redirect
useful.
it. Yes.
Yeah, do something useful for yourself. Like help yourself out. Give yourself an awesome piece of merch for WrestleMania. Just cancel one subscription and just make a one-time payment to a t-shirt, right? It pays for itself. They're great tees. But my God, Dave is such a freaking clown, bro. Like,
Yeah, I wanted to get that one to you. So
well, I
had
appreciate
to
it.
get it
You always know a way to deliver me to a BPM, a blood pressure measurement that I wasn't at prior to. So I appreciate that. Speaking of, just my mask. Speaking of, I want to backtrack on SmackDown here to, what was clearly the main event of SmackDown, Jade Cargill versus Michin.
Yes.
And, this main event, which happened in the middle of the show, because that's where they do the main events now, ended exactly how I thought it was going to end, with Michin getting dog walked by Jade Cargill, only for Rhea Ripley to come to the ring. And Rhea Ripley vowed to defeat Jade at WrestleMania. Now, this is obviously not
with their little tiny ass arms.
This is that's not what I said. That's never what I said. This is obviously not the bigger biceps, bigger quads, bigger shoulders promo, right?
No,
That
this was better.
That apparently a lot of people on the interwebs have mixed feelings
talking about it,
and
me included. Me included.
You included. And I thought I understood why at first. I thought that the conversation was being had around this promo because the promo overall was not that good.
Which it wasn't, which is still part of my thing.
Sure.
Let me surmise it before you go.
You please. You tee it up.
Have the floor here.
You tee it up.
I thought it was goofy. I thought it made no sense for Rhea Ripley, the character, to have that attitude and say that, to, I guess, concede that someone else is physically superior. That doesn't fit the Rhea character to me. But also, yes, the fact that when you stand them side by side, especially in the ring, like, I think Jade's more cut. I don't think she's that much bigger than Rhea, especially not bigger enough to have the promo where she's like, yeah, you are bigger than me. You are stronger than me, but I got them fighting muscles, or whatever the hell the point was. It was goofy for all those reasons, but you may now retort.
Thank you, kind sir. First, I would like to concede the fact that it was goofy.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the main issue.
I would like to concede the fact that it was goofy. Now, listen, I thought last week that it was fine. I still think it was fine. It can be goofy and be fine, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of goofy. I think, however, there are some objective truths here that for some reason get overlooked. Now I'm looking at this side-by-side picture of them right now. I think that to say that Jade Cargill is not the bigger human being than Rhea Ripley, if you say that they are the same size, I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap on that.
I think she's demonstrably a few inches taller.
At least 2 to 3 inches taller and about 20 pounds heavier.
Okay, I'll give you that because of the few inches taller.
That makes you a bigger human.
Okay, yes. What I'm talking about is like their physical appearance and bulk. There is not enough difference for me for that promo to have made any sense coming from Rhea Ripley.
But is there a difference?
There is a difference, but I think the difference is Jade's more cut. I don't think she necessarily has bigger dimensions than Rhea.
Jade?
Again, the only way we're going to settle this is give us the pose down or the arm wrestling contest.
The arm wrestling contest isn't going to prove anything. Because you're talking about
nice
size.
AI image. But,
you did.
But we'll have those biceps right at the camera.
Well, what? Listen,
you're talking about side by side.
Hold on, because you're talking about two different things. You're talking about size versus strength. That's why arm wrestling contest isn't going to handle it. Right,
brother. We got 5 SmackDowns. We got time for both.
Listen, at this point, do it. At this point, do it.
We got you. You're on board.
It's not going to prove what you think. It's not going to prove what you think. It's not going to prove what you think. And let's not pretend like the other day we were texting about this that you didn't admit that Jade was bigger than Rhea.
I said what I've said right on this show, which was, if she is bigger, she is not that much bigger to have this promo make sense coming from Rhea.
Dude, it doesn't make sense to you, and I get it, right? I also understand why you feel like it doesn't make sense for this feud. I also understand why you would feel like it wouldn't make sense for the Rhea Ripley character to say this. I disagree on the last point, but objectively speaking, Jade does not have to be ridiculously bigger than Rhea for Jade to be bigger than Rhea. And therefore, if Rhea looks at Jade and says, maybe your shoulders are bigger than mine, maybe your quads are bigger than mine, that can be a factual statement. That can be a factual statement despite the fact that the difference in their size is not ridiculously large. It can be small. It can be a small difference. But I truly think that if you look at this picture objectively, and I wish I could put it on screen right now, but I'm not going to try because I am not that experienced in this recording stuff right yet. But
Not yet.
Not yet. One day I'm going to be able to like click buttons and show stuff on the screen. It'd be awesome. But if you look at this picture right now, and if you're wondering, guys, which picture I'm looking at, it's on WWE.com.
We'll put it on Instagram, and we'll
Throw
put
it on
a poll.
Instagram. Yeah, that's fine.
We
But
will do
it's a
poll.
picture on WWE.com if you go to SmackDown results, and it's Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley in the ring together. If you look at this picture, and if you look at it closely, I don't think that they are that much different in size. But
Okay, we're getting
Jade
somewhere.
is a bit bigger than Rhea. This has been the whole point the entire time. I've never tried to claim that Jade was so much bigger
Yeah,
than Rhea.
I mean, mostly we're just having fun. But
We
yeah,
are.
my real issue is that to me it makes no sense why Rhea would acquiesce to that fact to Jade. Like, why would she give Jade that mental win?
Because it doesn't
the
matter.
Jade character, I get that it doesn't matter, and that was the point of the promo. I still think it was a mismatch in terms of the character that said it.
And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it because it's kind of circling back to what I said last week. I think that
we
it
can talk in
actually,
circles for a while.
I think that it actually works for the character. To me, it makes you seem like the confident badass that you are, right? Like if I'm standing next to someone and they're talking a bunch of trash to me, right? And they're saying, yeah, man, I'm that much bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. And I might be like, you know what? Maybe you are bigger than me. Maybe you are stronger than me, but I'm going to whoop that ass. Like my body is made for whooping ass. And that's what I'm going to do at WrestleMania. I'm going to whoop that ass. Like it don't matter if your show muscles are big. Now, I wish you would have said that. I wish you would have said that. That little sub insult would have been nice. But I think that the point was made. I can understand, and bringing this down to reality, I can understand why some people did not enjoy that promo because it was a little goofy and it did not seem to fit the gravity of the moment, which is going into WrestleMania and building this feud up. But this also goes back to something that I said prior to that promo, which was I genuinely hope that they've got a plan for Rhea and Jade because they've had very little interaction, you know what I'm saying, prior to this. And sometimes you can build something with nothing, right? Sometimes you can have a match where it's just like, let's see who the better person is. But usually it's a face versus face thing, right? But with Rhea and Jade, you've got a heel and a face. You've got to build something. And how you're going to build this, I don't know. I pray it's not a Charlotte and Tiffany thing again, because that's what happened last year, right? You threw these two together. You tried to build something in the weeks prior to WrestleMania. And the only thing that you did was start hurling insults at each other. And by the time we got to WrestleMania 41, like it was a train wreck. And I don't want that to be for Rhea and Jade. So I'm hoping in the weeks to come we can build off of this. I don't even remember what the heck they said on Friday. I don't even remember what they said on Friday. And that's not a good thing.
I think Jade didn't get to say much, did she? She took the mic away from Kathy and kind of intimidated her.
She did, and then Rhea came out. But I don't remember what Rhea said.
Maybe Jade did do a little bit of a promo, and then Rhea came out, and Jade left the ring.
Maybe that's what happened, because I don't remember what was said, and that would make more sense if they didn't really have a bunch of talking lines there. Because I don't remember anything that they said.
It was wrestling promo, is what it was.
It was standard wrestling promo number 6.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. Since neither of us remembers much from it, I would say that's a safe bet.
Yeah, yep. I would think
fine.
that's a safe
Again,
bet.
they've got 5 more shows to heat this up, so gonna give them the space and grace to do as much.
Now let me ask you this one last thing about SmackDown. Do you remember? Oh yeah. So do you remember what happened at the start of SmackDown?
Drew quit.
Drew quit.
Yes, Drew quit. Drew came out and, obviously he was talking about being screwed, and then Drew went and quit.
Yep. And obviously, Drew didn't quit. He came back.
Now, one of this, so I liked because you brought up last week and questioned why would Jacob Fatu get involved in the Drew thing, and I had said, well, Drew did take him out and screw him out of his title shot a while ago, which he did. But I liked what Jacob said. I forget if it was there, if it was later in the backstage segment. I think it was there when he's like, Drew, I don't know why you're crying about being screwed. The only reason you are champion is because of me, which is true.
Very
And I
true.
like that he was like, I wasn't screwing you. I was just setting things back the way they were, which I kind of enjoyed that point.
I thought that was I thought that was great. I thought that was great as well. And I thought that this was a solid opening to SmackDown. I'm going to tell you the truth though, brother. I had no idea that when it came to openings of the show, that Monday Night Raw was going to literally blow my mind. That is the only thing in my little atmosphere of wrestling that I've been seeing online that anybody's talking
Yeah,
about.
really? I've seen the Cody and Randy stuff, and then
Yes, that
what
for
we're going to
sure.
talk about, which is like, I don't mean to say I said it again, but hey, I told everyone to buckle up, and it was coming.
So wait, why don't you lead us off, man? Tell us what happened. Let's get into it.
So Raw, I mean, really, really good opening. And I will say, I got started a little late. Was texting with one of my buddies that we sometimes text during the show. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be starting a little late. So I got home about 20 minutes later,
Okay.
and I start the show, and we get a cavalcade of masked men in black hoodies, and I 2 minutes before that I had texted my buddy starting the show. Then I jokingly texted him, "All right, I'm turning the show off." Because I saw this masked man again, and I didn't want to see him. He's like, "Don't give this a chance." I was like, "Okay, okay." So we get Seth Rollins comes out. He threatens folks with death. He says he's going to kill the Vision.
He did.
And yeah, he threatens murder. Paul Heyman comes out. Paul is still looking beaten and bruised from last week. I believe it's his right eye is don't know
Yeah.
if it's actually like, bloodshot and blackened or that was good makeup. Either way, Paul's looking very beat up.
And disheveled.
And yes, and he kind of as he starts speaking, he loses the meek and timid tone he has at first, and he seems like he has something up his sleeve for Seth, and he starts going with his saying FAFO, which he likes to say now, FAFO FAFO F5. And
Boom.
as we know, and every week going forward, Brock Lesnar is going to be on this show, but Brock Lesnar comes out to open this show to seems like him and Paul are still on great terms, that he will protect Paul, and for stomping on Paul last week, Seth Rollins is going to get the business from Brock
Mm-hmm.
Lesnar. So Brock makes his way to the ring. A couple of our hooded men, they forego their little shell game and spinning around in a circle and just feed themselves to Brock. And Brock takes them all out, and it's face to face in the ring with Seth, and we're getting a big showdown. Crowd's loving it. We're harkening back. We're thinking about all the history between these two. Gonna see them go at it again. Then the lights go off.
Boom.
We get the green lighting, and everyone knows what's coming.
Oh yeah.
And what we've been talking about and hoping for happens, and Oba Femi comes out to huge cheers. We get a big Oba chant. In fact, it's an Oba who. So we've got two sections of chants going on for this guy who's just as
Nuts.
over as you can get. Oba and Brock are face to face. Seth's kind of in the corner, just smirking about it. Brock has his attention split. He doesn't know what to do or where to go. He lunges at Seth. Seth
No, no,
bails out
no.
of the ring. Or did he? No,
Seth
he
walks up
went
to
to.
them,
Yes,
and
okay.
then
That's
Brock turns, and Seth jumps out the ring.
okay. Yes, correct. and then Brock tries to turn around and go to hit Oba, and Oba picks him up for his power bomb and plants Brock in a way that Brock does not get planted and manhandled a lot, and the crowd is going crazy. Oba gives the sign point, and it is official. Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi at WrestleMania.
Brother,
Just like we were hoping for. WWE is going to give it to us, and this is going to be a one of those classics. You know, 8 minutes of just beating the hell out of each other. Heavyweight fight.
yes, sir. Listen, Oba's music hits. And listen, I know you guys who are listening have watched Raw, but for the people in the back who didn't tune in, when Oba's music hits, they drop the drums first. Now, listen, if you've been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, you know that Skeena and I love when you play the intro right. When you lock it down just right and you set the crowd on fire. They drop the drums. Doom, da, 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 doom. And then it stops and they let it breathe. And then the music comes on. And people lose their collective minds. And Oba comes out, hoo, 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 and the crowd loses it. They lose it. Now, I'm going to give a ton of credit here to one Brock Lesnar, okay? Brock will sell for the people who he wants to sell for.
Always
And
has.
he always has. And Brock was selling this like he had no idea that Jaws was headed to the ring.
And just that, and he kept like looking back at Seth. Like he sold so well that he's like, oh shit, this just turned into an issue for me.
Yes, he sold that so well. Oba's coming down the ramp, and you can hear him saying, I don't care who you are. And Oba, as Skeena so eloquently put, is getting cheered as if he is about to win the Super Bowl and just won the Super Bowl at the same time. And he gets into the ring, and as the music dies down, you have the dueling chants. Oba and people going, whoo. And they're doing it in tandem. Like the Texas crowd was on one, and in a good way.
Yeah, crowd really was good.
The way Oba scoops Brock up, I mean, to say with ease is putting it lightly. The fall from grace looks awesome. But I'm going to give Brock credit here because if you watch that clip closely, you will see Brock Lesnar, being the veteran that he is, seizing the moment and telling Oba, put your foot on my chest.
Yeah, I could see him talking a lot. I never quite heard what he said, but I could see him kind of talking through Oba like, okay, put me up, and I could see like, okay, down now, and yeah.
So he told him, put your foot on my chest, right? And then he holds his foot there and he pretends like he's trying to get Oba's foot off.
Oh, yeah?
But what he's
I'll have
doing
to go
is he's
back and watch
holding his
that.
foot there, right? Because keep it there for the camera shot, right? It's gonna look good. And I have never been the biggest fan of Brock. I respect what he is. I respect what he does for the business. But I have been admittedly someone who is just fine if Brock is not around. We got plenty of talent that we can use. To see firsthand Brock's wrestling product acumen, seizing the moment, directing the path, took it up a notch for me. I can appreciate that. I genuinely can appreciate that. That is knowing what the moment looks like, right? And taking the opportunity to seize it, right? This crowd is as red hot for a Raw as they will ever be, right? The scene has played out perfect. And he was able to read that moment and in real time direct traffic. And it's not that Oba didn't know what to do. Like, I'm not painting the picture like Oba is this rookie who doesn't know how to do things. But Brock just saw that moment and was like, yo, put your foot on my chest. Like, it's going to look dope. And it did. And in that moment, I said, okay, fair play, sir. Fair play. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. And it's made me look forward to this match so much more than I already did.
This is going to be a heck of a match.
Brother,
it's going to be one of the bigger attractions. People are, like you said, it's all you're seeing on social media. People are excited for it. It's going to be something. I think And I think Brock is going to put him over in a huge
Oh,
way.
I think he is too. Listen, what year did Brock come into WWE?
Come into
Yeah.
night after WrestleMania 18, so 2002.
Okay. So when was it that when did Brock win the World Championship? The WWE Championship.
SummerSlam 2002.
Okay, so the same year he came in.
Mm-hmm.
I need WWE to do an O2 Lesnar with Oba.
Could very well happen.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's a reason to wait. Like, Lesnar came in, right? And at SummerSlam, the same year he came in, they strapped the rocket to him and was like, there's no need to wait for this. Like, he's ready. And you took off, and the rest is history. And you made not only a star, but you made the second boogeyman at the time. Because at first, the boogeyman was The Undertaker. He had that spot as the guy who ended things, right? And then you built the second boogeyman right there. You not boogeyman, right? Not boogeyman, but you made the second boogeyman.
Yeah, I get
right?
it.
Just do that with Oba. Take the same playbook, and you've got Lesnar doing it. I agree with you. I think Lesnar's going to put him over so big.
Oh yeah.
I expect this match to be a contest in the beginning. And then Oba needs to wreck Brock. Just wreck him. And like we stated before, and it's no secret, a lot of these wrestlers from that era are starting to wind down. And it's been no secret that Brock is probably winding it down. And what better way to kick that off than to really like put this guy over big time and just set him up with the Lesnar legacy? Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the crowd, listen, I don't think anybody gets pops currently bigger than Oba. And I mean that. I mean that talking about Cody. I'm talking about Punk. I'm talking about...
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't.
You watched the same
fair.
Raw I did.
I did. And
Who
apparently
got
not.
a bigger pop than Oba? Don't say Punk. Don't say Roman.
Those two guys that came out at the end got some big pops.
Listen, I wish they had a little decibel thing.
I wish they did.
I wish they put that decibel thing up there, because I think when Oba's music hit, that pop was redonkulous. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit when it comes to Roman.
I think it was probably close, but it does have like the surprise factor.
This is true.
But I do think Punk and Roman's pops were a little bigger. But if we're saying like those are the two people that are getting louder pops than him, we're in a pretty good spot.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah, if you're playing third to those two, I think you're doing all right. I think you're doing all right. But that was a massive moment, and I genuinely cannot wait.
What a way to open the show. I thought they were going to milk the who's going to challenge Brock thing for a lot longer, but apparently not, which I'm kind of even more excited for now to see, okay, what do they do? How do they build this? Because unless I'm mistaken, Brock is on every remaining Raw until WrestleMania.
That's what I hear, yeah.
So yeah, let's do it. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens.
I'm really excited for this.
I wonder if
right now I would say this is my third most anticipated match behind the two title matches, which is saying something given how the magnitude of the stars in two of those other matches.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this, because there is still a Seth Rollins size asterisk next to this.
Yes, what will he be doing at WrestleMania?
Because we're being made to believe that Seth has not been cleared. Now, let's say for the sake of this conversation that Seth Rollins is not cleared. He's not medically cleared to compete yet.
Are we going to do that? Because he's out there. He was curb stomping people. He's cleared. He's not.
I'm just saying.
He's not going to be doing things.
Look, I'm just saying for the sake of this conversation, let's say he's not cleared. Let's say he's clear. He does little things, but he's not going to wrestle a match. We've seen wrestlers do that before, where they are not cleared to wrestle. They do a little physical interaction that does not require them to bump, but they're not fully cleared. Let's just say for the sake of this conversation that he's not medically cleared. One of the things that I heard when I was watching a ton of reactions to the Oba Femi Brock Lesnar stuff was somebody saying, look at Seth. Look at Seth in the corner and look at Seth outside of the ring when Oba and Brock are interacting. Did Seth have anything to do with any of this? Or was this simply Seth being there when Oba accepted the challenge?
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
Whichever one you want to give.
Okay, the short answer is no, and the answer that's twice as long is nope. So there you have it from my perspective.
So Seth was just bystander.
Yes, Seth was there because of Heyman, and Heyman was going to use his weapon of mass destruction against Seth. Now, the question becomes, I think, is because of this, if Seth doesn't have a match, is he involved somehow in the Brock and Oba match? And I say no because I'm still banking on Braun Breaker versus Seth at WrestleMania. And I think they may milk that until the last possible moment to book that match. And maybe that's still wishful thinking on my part, but that is what I'm going with as the plan right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I can't see Seth being cleared and not having a match. Does he maybe do a tag team match and get a surprise partner against the Vision and they just do that to get Seth on the card? Maybe. Is he involved in Brock and Oba? Maybe setting up Brock versus Seth. Maybe, which we postulated months ago, but right after Survivor Series. But I'm still banking on Seth Rollins wrestles Braun Breaker at WrestleMania.
yeah. So
Crossing my fingers while I do that, but that's where I'm at.
So I don't see Seth Rollins factoring into Oba and Brock whatsoever.
I don't right now, unless there is more Seth Brock interaction in the next 4 weeks, which we'll see.
Yeah, I mean we will see. We have no other choice. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, fair.
it just would kind of feel, and listen, personally speaking, I don't know if I would mind Seth being involved in this somehow if it did not in any way affect the match itself, right? Like if Seth is involved in this in a storytelling aspect to further whatever, you know what I'm saying, vision story it is that they're telling between him and Paul and the Vision. And this is in the event that Breaker's not cleared, right?
Mhm.
Then, if you're just telling a narrative story and it just kind of sucks that, he's not going to be able to compete at WrestleMania, talking about Braun Breaker, then yeah, maybe if you're doing a narrative story beat that's tied into this whole thing because Oba has interjected himself into this, then, fine. And I have faith that the writing team would be able to figure out whatever it is they need to figure out to make this make sense. But I do not want in any way for Seth freaking Rollins to have an impact on the trajectory or the conclusion of that match. You know what I'm saying? Like
And
Oba needs to,
I knew that would be your thoughts when I said it. And
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think I would be naive to not at least address that possibility is out there given what we saw Monday. But if there is no further interaction between Seth and Brock Lesnar, I think that is less likely. Not impossible though, because we do have Heyman and Seth, and Brock is a Heyman guy, so there is the motivation there for Seth to do it to screw over Paul. Again, I'm not predicting that. I'm just laying out that that's how I could see that happening.
So I'll say this. The only way I would accept it is if Heyman tries to get involved to throw the edge to Brock and Seth neutralizes that edge,
Yeah,
right?
it could be something like
Like,
that.
like that would be the only way I could accept it is if Oba and Brock are having this match, Brock is losing, and let's say Paul tries to slide a chair in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And then Seth runs out and snatches the chair out of the ring. Like that right there, I could work with.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that they are going to find a way for Seth to wrestle at WrestleMania.
And he can wrestle Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe the other option is, okay, let's find Seth a fun tag team partner to go against the Vision.
You could do that. I mean, LA Knight's not doing anything.
Yeah, and he has history with the Vision.
He has history with Division. You know what I
Although
mean?
he got some beef with Jay too,
He
which I'm
does.
glad they're going back to that.
He does. But then if you pull Jay, what do you do with Jimmy? Like they've been a duo right now for
I don't know. A lot of this is still up in the air, and we do have like you said, I think the next 2 weeks are going to clear a lot of stuff up in
right.
terms of the card. obviously, that goes without saying. But don't we? Who is it? Vision versus New Day for like number one contendership next week
Oh, is
or
it?
something
I
like
must.
that.
I forgot.
Yeah, because Paul was talking about he was talking to Austin Theory and Logan and was like, "Look, I need you all to do something and have titles. So go get those tag titles
Oh
for
yeah,
me."
I do remember him say it. That's true. He did say that, and the New Day did get cursed.
And they did,
Well,
yes.
actually, no. Grayson Waller got cursed. Grayson Waller got cursed because Kofi pulled Grayson in front of him when
Yes. And then,
Danhausen went to
yes,
curse.
I forgot. That was another great Danhausen segment for sure.
Listen,
And he's like, "Did you just pull me in front of this?" And then he takes his shirt off like it's on his shirt.
like it's on his
And
shirt.
then he told Kofi, he's like, "Oh, there's some on your neck." Like, yeah.
Hey, look, I can appreciate what Danhausen is doing,
Did you
and look,
see?
this is the right way to use
We
him.
did not see it live, but did you see the Cannonhausen?
The what?
Yeah. So during one of the commercial breaks, he got to bring out a T-shirt cannon.
No, I didn't see any of
The
that.
Cannonhausen, yes.
Listen, they're gonna go crazy with these Housens. I like.
I'm interested to see what he does at WrestleMania. I'm sure it'll be great.
Well, I mean, he's probably not gonna wrestle. That's for sure.
No, but he doesn't need to. That's
No,
not
I
what
did.
he's here to do.
No, I get that. I get that. He's probably not gonna wrestle, and that's fine. You're
You
right. That's not
you
what he's
are
here to do.
the cursing and you are cursed is so over
I agree.
already.
I
And
agree.
what a like so we had, you know, we had some differing opinions and a lot of people did on how the debut went, but like even the most rose tinted glasses didn't think it was great, but like that dude came out the next 2 nights later and has just made everyone forget that that debut was even a thing.
That's how
So
you
like
got to do
what
it.
a yeah,
That's how you got to do it.
yeah.
Like my hat. Look,
It,
hats off. Hats off to Danhausen and the team for first of all straight up addressing that the next night.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, addressing it without addressing it,
Yeah.
right? But you addressed it, you move past it, and you lean fully into your strengths. And you make the crowd forget about the lackluster introduction to the character. And that's great. That's exactly how you have to do it. The exact opposite is like what they're doing with Royce Keys. Where's he been at? Like,
Who?
who? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe you're saving him till after Mania. I mean, what was the point?
Seemingly, yes.
What was the
Yeah,
point
I
of
mean
debuting him at the
the
Rumble if
longer time goes on, I mean, obviously, yeah, it seems like okay, we didn't need to do that then.
no, you really didn't. You really didn't. It was a ploy for a pop. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And
Yeah.
particularly if you weren't going to include him in anything,
And who knows?
anything.
Who knows? They've had injuries, so maybe there was something, but I mean, regardless, like you said the other day, regardless, it's been a waste. Aside from I'm sure he got a nice big fat check for it, but
Oh,
other
I'm
than
sure
that,
that Saudi
it's
check
been a
was.
waste.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that Saudi check was juicy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen. Shout out to Royce Keys. His stories is crazy. And shout out to Danhausen because he's making all this work and he's making a believer out of me, and that I can appreciate. Good wrestling, good wrestling storytelling.
Did you watch the Rock one?
The what?
You still need to. The Danhausen where he reviews Zoa.
No,
It's the one that the Rock saw and reposted, which gave him a huge popularity boost
no, I
a
haven't
few
seen
years
that.
back. You need to watch it.
You sent that to me.
I believe I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go check it.
Probably a few weeks ago now, but yeah.
So we had some matches here. Some of them of note. Some of them of note.
Yes, some of note,
Penton
not
Dragon
all of
Lee
note.
for the Intercontinental Championship. That is a great AAA match right
Good,
there.
yeah, good match. You could really see Dragon Lee shine with someone who can, do the lucha stuff with him, be his base, as they say. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a great match. Dragon Lee had a heck of a dive there
Yes, he did.
towards the end.
Yes, he
Dangerous
did.
looking dive. But
Dude,
yeah,
Dragon Lee does this like every other week on AAA.
does he?
He's huge. Like he is massive in AAA. And rightfully so. Like he had a feud with God, who was Dragon Lee feuding with? I can't think of his name right now. But he had a feud.
Mini Gunther?
No. I can't remember who the mass luchador was he had a feud with in AAA a few weeks ago, but it was freaking awesome. It was
Was it?
freaking awesome. Yes, it was so good. And you just really see how some people are genuine stars when you go to other places of the world, right?
Hmm.
And Dragon Lee is just over, dude. He is so over down there. And it's what got me going into this rabbit hole of luchadors that came from like CMLL and AAA into WWE and got misused. You know what I'm saying? Like just a list of them that had very storied careers elsewhere and then came to the WWE and they were like part of like Lucha House Party.
Kalisto.
Kalisto,
Yes.
for instance.
Samurai del Sol, right? Is that his
Yeah,
name?
like he was so over before he came to WWE.
Doing all those good lucha things down there.
Yeah, like straight up, man, straight up. And he was what's it called? God, he played another lucha as well too. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, huge, super huge. But yes, if you don't watch Lucha Underground, not Lucha Underground, AAA, because you can watch Lucha Underground. I wouldn't pay that premium. But if you don't watch AAA, check it out.
Theoretically, you can watch Lucha Underground if you have the money.
Listen, yeah, if you got deep pockets, you can catch every season of Lucha Underground for a hefty premium on Amazon. But we won't be watching it unless you guys decide you want to sponsor us watching that. Then we will watch Lucha Underground. I would love to, but not for $14.99 an episode. That's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of money per episode. Like, jeez, man.
Mind you, when TNA was doing weekly pay-per-views, they were $9.99 an episode.
Wait,
Granted,
so
that was
weekly?
early 2000s, but
Okay, they were doing weekly
yeah,
pay-per-views.
yeah, that's how TNA started out for the first at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years, was a weekly pay-per-view, $9.99 every. I think it was Wednesdays.
Okay,
Day
so
doesn't matter, but yes, weekly pay-per-views.
So look, here's the excuse I will give them, right? If you're trying to fund your active product, sure. I understand. I may not do it, but I get it, right? Lucha Underground has been gone for like how long now? It ended in what, 2009?
Oh no, it was later than that, but I
Well,
don't know
yeah, it
when it
was. When did
ended.
it
It's
end? It
been
was
a
like
while.
it's been a while because some of the clips that I see online are like 8 years old.
Yeah, around then. Like I think I would say more than 5, less than 10 years ago.
So maybe
I
around
don't
like
remember exactly
2014,
when it was.
2015 or something like that when it ended. But it's like, are we're still doing $14.99 per episode for a show that ended 8 years ago? That's
Yeah.
nuts.
When you said 14.99, I thought you were gonna say a season, and even then, I would have been like, "Yeah, that's
Dude, I
not
would do
awful, but not great."
$14.99 for a season because I think those seasons were like, if I'm not remembering correctly, when I looked at the playlist, I believe it's like 12, 13 episodes or
Was it?
something
I
like
don't
that.
remember.
And I'm guessing, but I think it was over 10, but it was like less than 20. So it was between like 13, 15 episodes. I could do that for $14.99. That is fine, right? Because I paid it for a movie. If I want to watch a movie that's still kind of like relatively new,
Yeah.
I'll do that. But like $14.99 per episode, I don't know what you're smoking, but I want some because that's crazy.
Four seasons, 2014 to 2018 was the last one, I believe.
So it only ran for 4 seasons?
Hmm.
Huh.
I didn't realize. I thought there were 5. I didn't realize I had only missed one.
Okay. Yeah, I thought there was 5 seasons
So
too. I
yeah,
could have sworn.
2018 was the last one.
Okay, 2018. Right. Okay, so 2018. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. So what's like how many years is that? 8 years?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
8
about
years
eight
ago.
years since that ended, and they're still charging
So I was
14.
I was right. I had it more than 5, less than 10.
Yeah. So but $14.99 per episode? No. Going to what? El Rey Network? Amazon? It's gotta be going to Amazon because El Rey Network shows apparently a bunch of like telenovela.
Wait a minute. Where are you seeing this?
What are you talking about?
Lucha Underground.
What do you not see it?
I don't see. No, I see it. I don't see 14.99 an episode. I see 2.99 an episode, but I see $45 per season,
Okay, wait a minute. Let's do some math here.
which is still a lot.
Okay, maybe I. Oh, you know what? Maybe I am
So I'm
saying
looking.
$14.99 by mistake, and I said
So
45 last week.
No, you said 14. You said 14.99 an episode. But regardless, I'm looking at it right now. Season 1, 45.90 or 44.99. Season 2, 39.99. Season 2 cheaper.
Okay.
Season 3, 27.99.
What's happening?
I don't know, but it's getting cheaper. And season 4 back to 39.99.
Are there less episodes in season 2 and season 3?
So we'll go back and look. Season 1, 39 episodes.
Okay, 39
Seas-
episodes at
Season two,
$2.99 each.
season 2, 26 episodes.
Okay.
Season 3, 40 episodes for $27.99. So now we're just these prices are all over the place. And then season 4, 22 episodes.
So did season 3 have more episodes than season 1?
Yes,
But
one
it
more.
costs less. But
Yes.
season 1 costs less than
No, season 3 costs way less than season 1.
but has
More
right, but it
episodes.
has more episodes.
Yes.
What is happening?
Must not be as good. I don't know.
dude, I have never in
Yeah,
my
this is
life
pretty crazy.
I've never
This
in my
makes
life seen someone charge
for
per episode based
yeah,
on how
but
good they are.
yeah, but for like a lucha promotion, this pricing structure makes way more sense.
Why? How so?
In that it makes no sense. And that's my experience with Lucha Libre is that one pay-per-view that made absolutely no sense.
What, because of all the technical issues that it had?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the technical issues, like the worst match I've ever seen, playing Rey Mysterio's WWE music even after he came out to other music. Yeah, all that. This seems like the same sport. This seems like Lucha Libre to me, at least.
I need you to watch like some new Lucha Libre because it's not the same. They're not
Well, yeah,
having the
because
same.
WWE's involved now.
Part of me totally agrees with that. Part of me totally agrees with that, and I think that's why the product is probably better and why you should check it out now.
And I only say that because I remember watching that pay-per-view
Yeah.
and I was like, I forget what like internet wrestling forum I like went to, and people are like, yeah, if this is your first one, like this is just kind of what it's like. You just accept this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So let's see. So
Yeah. It was just like, yeah, you take some of this with the good. Just happens.
yeah, I mean, from what I've seen with AAA currently, and like I said, WWE runs that product right now. Apparently, the guy who's in charge of AAA, like Shawn Michaels is for NXT,
Yeah.
is the Undertaker.
Interesting.
I thought that was interesting too. I never would have and he's not an on-screen personality at all. Like you don't ever see him. And so I'm like, so is he actually running AAA?
And now I gotta look this up. I haven't heard any of this. Undertaker.
Because I didn't hear that on programming. I heard that outside of programming.
Google AI is telling me is a key creative figure.
So he's what? Is he head of creative?
I don't know. I'm getting a quote with him. He works closely with Jeremy Borash on creative, seemingly. Yes.
That's interesting. So WWE has
that's
taken
wild.
over
I didn't
the
even know
creative
that.
for AAA.
So some people are saying like he's kind of like booking AAA.
That's what I heard. Is that like he's in the driver's seat for AAA? Which on one hand, I can say the guy understands the business. So it's not like you're putting somebody in a position who doesn't get the business to kind of head creative. On the other hand, though, I can't remember the name of the founder of AAA. I can't remember his name right now, but he's passed away. But his family is still alive and they're still a part of the business. Now, maybe they're not the type who want to do that, so I'm not trying to assume anything. But it does seem kind of odd that you have this Lucha Libre Mexican wrestling promotion who has always been run by Mexican Lucha Libre promoters. WWE acquires AAA and you put the Undertaker in charge of creative. I mean, they had to agree to it, so I'm not like
I don't know. You're liking it, so
I love it. I'm just speaking to the situation. It's a little odd. I'm not saying that it's out of place, and I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that I wouldn't have thought that initially.
I mean, I had no idea when you said that he was involved at all, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I swear I didn't think it until I saw it, and I was like, really? Huh?
I mean, you
Okay,
could have given me as many guesses as you wanted. Like, what former WWE wrestler is
right?
booking AAA? The Undertaker was never going to be a
It would
guess
never made the
for me.
list. It
Yeah.
never would have made the list. And I get it. I get it because I swear when I heard it that I was like the Undertaker. Okay, okay. I never would have guessed that. So Stephanie Vaquer defeats Raquel. I guess Raquel's whole deal was to soften Stephanie up for Liv. This again, as much as I love what the Judgment Day is doing with Judgment Day stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Dom and Finn. Hopefully Dom and whatever concussion he may have, he'll be good to go by the time Mania comes around. But the rest of this Judgment Day stuff, this stuff with Liv and Stephanie, I don't know, man. It's kind of falling a little
Yeah,
flat
it
for me.
oh, yeah, it doesn't have much juice for me at all.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. The best thing that Liv has done is the Judgment Day promo on Monday, where she was talking about,
Getting rid of Finn,
how
dropping a
yeah,
dead weight.
talking talking to Finn, which she referenced what we talked about. I remember talking about here almost 10, 11 months ago now at this point, that she saw Finn in the shadows doing all his scheming and plotting, and don't
Yeah.
think we didn't notice, but you did teach us well, and now we're dropping you. I think that's the best thing they did. But yeah, they haven't put, for me, a lot of juice behind Liv versus Stephanie. I'm hoping they can kind of step that up a little bit.
I hope so. I hope so too. But my whole issue though is if it's left primarily to Liv to set it up, it's not a slight at Liv. I think Liv is great at what she does, but it's difficult to carry forward a feud and primarily one person is doing the lifting. And we talked about this briefly maybe last week, maybe the week before. I feel like Stephanie Vaquer is a star for sure, but I'm starting to question a little bit how long this is going to last for her because we seem to have hit somewhat of a plateau. Like she's still popular, she still gets a huge pop when she comes out, right? But I'm starting to wonder, are we seeing the extent of what we can reliably count on Stephanie to bring to a feud? Like this
Yeah,
is,
I know what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Like this is as big as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Liv is a great personality to bounce off against, right? Going into WrestleMania. And you're going into the biggest show of the year as the champion. And so far, what we've seen from Stephanie is her get a little mad
And make Liv cry.
and make Liv cry. And I give all the credit there, honestly, to Liv for making that even cross the line. But I hope that they pull something out here. This is me hoping against hope and not hoping with it, right? So there's some things that we don't know or how they're going to play out yet. And I'm hoping with the hope, right? I'm hoping with the hope that they'll figure this out. But in this, I'm kind of hoping against hope. Like I'm hoping that they figure it out, but I don't know if they can actually do it. I don't know if this is just going to be another match, and particularly if they don't take the title off of Stephanie. Like if they don't take the title off of her, I don't
They
know where
they
you
gotta
go.
do they gotta do something in these next few weeks to bring this back to something. Because I mean, we kind of took a detour with Finn and the Judgment Day, and maybe they had something planned, and they couldn't do it because of Dom. But I don't know. I'm with you there too. It is not at the forefront of my mind for WrestleMania right now. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. But I think we're definitely gonna we'll figure out what they do with it next. But they got 4 weeks. I'm up for anything WWE. I'm open to whatever it is that you're offering up because I genuinely have nothing to add here. And I wish I did because I like the parties involved. I just wish that what was being given to us was a bit more something.
Yeah.
I hope that we don't do another Maxine versus Natty.
Woo! I'll bring it back. I said it a few weeks ago, but if anyone missed it, I will use a lovely Jim Cornette phrase to describe this. Flatter than a plate of piss is what that is, and what that match was. Because
Yeah,
what in the world?
I genuinely feel like this is just kind of overstayed his welcome.
It's
And
already dead. Like, look, again, the natty thing for me is just not working.
no, it's just not working. It's not working. And
And it sucked Maxine down with it because people were really hot and high on Maxine, and now she got dragged down by this seemingly. So
well, and it sucks too because it's also happening during WrestleMania season, right?
yep.
Where you're building storylines toward WrestleMania. So introducing her into anything else is not happening. It's the reason why we're not going to see Royce Keys between now and WrestleMania because they're building these stories together now, and adding new components just adds more things you got to iron out. And so you're not going to see him. And I don't think you're going to see her, Maxine, outside of anything other than dealing with Natty. And I just hope that this.
What more is there to deal? Like Natty's beat her like twice, right?
So Maxine's got to get the win. I just hope we
Does
don't
she?
do it. I hope we just do it on a Raw.
I don't want to see it ever again at all.
Yeah, but you know you're gonna, because he's got to get the dub back. Because it doesn't serve Natty at all to
I mean,
end the
I just
feud on a
can't
dub.
believe that a few months ago, like Maxine was blowing the roof off a place, beating Becky Lynch for a title, and now,
And now she's back to
now,
wrestling
now
Natty.
she got too close to Natty, and oh boy,
I'm trying to
and I
tell
don't,
you.
I don't mean to. I guess mean to. No, I do mean to. I hate that when I'm being honest, I have to always be like, Natty just doesn't do it for me. Like, I want to like Natty and be entertained by Natty. It has happened far less times than she's tried, though.
Agreed. Agreed. And you know, I've said this before. I'll say it again right now. This whole MMA inspired gimmick that she's
It's
working
not
with.
working. It's not working for her. Like, she just can't portray it. I don't take it seriously. I don't know how anyone does.
In the beginning, it had potential. It had potential. You
Yeah,
work it the
for
right
someone
way.
not Natty.
Listen, I gave up on the idea that this was supposed to look MMA for her, and thought more along the lines of what they were trying to tell me, which was okay, they're leaning a lot into the idea that Natty is the only woman to graduate from the Heart Dungeon, and that she is playing this as like, I am the baddest chick on the planet, and I'm gonna whoop you because I'm the chick that came out of the dungeon. Okay, listen, fair enough. I get how wrestling works. Let's see where you go with this, right? But then week after week, when the only person that you wrestle is Maxine, it just does not make me feel like you're that freaking badass.
Who we saw own your ass in the dungeon in that segment.
Oh yeah, which
Like, don't
makes
even
no
forget about
sense
that
now.
inconsistency.
Which
Yeah.
makes no sense now.
Yeah,
None
since Natty's
whatsoever.
wiping the floor with her.
And listen, another crazy thing. So Natty a few weeks ago came down to AAA. She wrestled in a multi-woman match. I think it was like four. It was like four people in the match. She looks so much better. She looks so much better down there when her wrestling had so much less to do with her character and more to do with her wrestling. And listen, I just said it doesn't help me tie in this idea that you are such a badass when the only person that you're wrestling is Maxine. When I saw you in AAA and you're wrestling other wrestlers who, admittedly, no shade to Maxine, because we've commended you to the high heavens for how much you progressed and grown. But there are people who are better wrestlers than her currently. When Natty got in the ring with, I believe Flamer was in that match. Lola Vice was in that match. And oh my gosh, I'm seeing the woman's face right now. I just can't think of her name. But something Apache. That match was good. That match was so good. But all of those women in the ring can wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Lola Vice is probably the one that has the least amount of wrestling experience in that ring, but she also has legitimate MMA experience. And she's not a bad wrestler. So when you put Natty in that mix, she fit and the match worked out well. We also weren't leaning so heavy into her gimmick. Yeah, she came out, she did the Natty thing, she did that stupid turn and pose, you know. But when she got in the ring,
did she do the
no,
vocalization with it? That's what I
no.
really hate.
Yeah, that part really is not great. But no, the match was good. But when you come back to the WWE, The only person you're wrestling is Maxine. And it just, if for no other reason than the show itself telling us what they think of you, right? Is you're not getting booked in anything other than wrestling against Maxine. You're not getting booked in tag team matches. You're not getting booked in qualifying matches for women's championships that are being contested. We had the Intercontinental Championship being contested on the same show. We had qualifiers the week before, and you weren't in either of those. And I think it just shows what the show itself, the programming itself, thinks of how badass you are. You know what I'm saying? And so you can't be a badass that's booked at the bottom of the card. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I think part of it is Natty, part of it is the booking, part of it is the fact that you're not seen by the company as main event talent. And it sucks because Natty deserves, she should be given more flowers than she does.
Here now you go with the word that I'm not allowed to use.
Well, you saw I backtracked on it.
Yeah.
I backtracked on it. She should be getting more flowers than she gets. But you have so many things that just form this like a speed bump, a hurdle that makes it so difficult to climb over into the realm of give Natty the flowers. Because for every good thing
a microphone and a character have always gotten in the way with her.
Have always gotten in the way. Always gotten in the way. I just don't know if there's anything you can do about it.
There's not. And they're trying. See, I think it's almost the opposite.
Okay.
Like the company really wants to do right by her and like give her chance after chance, and it just never works. I think anyone not Natty that wasn't as liked and respected doesn't get all these chances to come back and try this again, to try something different.
So I 1000% agree with you. So I 1000% agree with you. I think the reason why I said that I feel like the company has fault here is because like I said, I agree with you. And because I agree with you, I feel like she has esteem with the company likes her, right? And they want to do right by her. But listen, you can't tell me that you're trying to do right by someone by letting them go out into the ring and do that.
I mean, that's fair. I was going to say,
saying?
Who saw this and sees this and says, yeah, this is it.
And signed off on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're treating her like the people who you don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about Aleister Black, right? And how he probably pitched this, and somebody was like, oh, yeah, sure. Because they don't care, right? You're treating her like you don't care what she does. Because who rubber stamped this? Who okayed this? And she deserves better. And I feel like if you care about her, if you want her to succeed, somebody could at least tell her, okay, look, I see the pluses in the idea, okay? Here are some things that we could probably do to make it really land a little bit better. But I don't think anybody's doing it. I think they're just letting Natty go out there and do what Natty does because it's Natty.
Probably, but like what can you do? If like she doesn't have the character portrayal skills, whatever those may be, we want to call them charisma, ability to talk on the mic in a convincing way in wrestling promo, like any of that stuff, what do you even suggest?
I got 2 suggestions right off the rip. And it's not what you do, it's what you don't do, okay?
Yeah, show up on my TV every Monday.
That's foul. No, what I mean is don't do the stupid mean mug face in the camera. The shit looks dumb.
That's bad.
It looks dumb. It looks dumb every time. If I was her friend in the company and I'm watching this back, I would just advise her not to do that. That's one thing.
Don't show us the mouthpiece like a.
Don't show us the mouthpiece all the time.
Like a 4-year-old that doesn't know how to smile yet, being told to smile for a picture.
Let's cut that out. And listen, one of the most badass things I think you could do is do less. Say less. Mm-hmm. Act less. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already do the professional wrestling thing, right? When you try to act like this amateurish character, you act like a professional wrestler who's trying to act amateur, and it does not work. Do less. And it's such a simple recommendation. The fact that it feels like no one is making that makes me feel like the company is at more fault than Natty is. You walk in with an idea. My hope would be that if I had an idea for something I wanted to do, right? and I ran it by my wife. My wife loves me, and she would tell me if something was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? She would tell me what her real thoughts were about something, right? I would expect that if I came to you, Skeener, and I was like, hey, man, I got this idea for something on the show I want to do. If it was something that was really fucking dumb, you know what I'm saying? I would hope, Skeener, that you would tell me, hey, man, I don't know if that's the best idea. I would appreciate that. Just to let you know off the rip, I'm the type of guy, I would appreciate honesty, right? But it doesn't feel like anyone is saying this to Natty. The idea is
Yeah,
cool, but let's
probably
not
not.
mean mug into the
It's
camera.
going out there.
It's kind of not it. And so, you know, I hope Natty one day listens to this podcast. I hope she listens to this podcast, and I hope she takes from it not that there are two guys up here that are hating on her, that there are two guys up here who would really love the best for her and want what she's doing to land in a way that she wants it to. I feel like we care about what she's doing on the product more than WWE cares about what she's doing on the product.
Nah, I don't care.
We've had more conversation, I think, than the writing team has about her.
That's fair, but I don't want it construed that I care. I want people to know that I do not care what Natty does.
Listen, I think you can.
I've tried to care, and I
I
just
think
can't.
I think you can directly care and you can indirectly care. I think you indirectly care. You don't care about Natty, but you care enough to talk about it with me, right? I don't think that anybody in the writings room cares enough to talk about it.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at length.
And listen, I don't think you have to care about someone to have their best interest. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you can be objective about the best interest. Because oftentimes, what is in someone's best interest is usually something that is easily noticeable, right? Which is what we just laid out, right? Stop doing the gritting, stop putting the mouthpiece in front of the camera, stop doing stop doing all these extra things, right? These are things that are objectively bad, right? And you don't have to care or love someone to recognize that these things ain't working. I just wish that somebody would take a objective approach to criticism with her. And I just don't feel like anybody does that. Like, how do you go out on Netflix and do this?
Yeah, I mean,
You
that's
know what I'm
where we're
saying?
at.
It's wild. But let's get to Roman and Punk because apparently,
Well, let's start. First, we get a little old school bloodline flavor. Roman gets out
at the
at the
arena.
beginning out of the car. Jay and Jimmy are there.
Oh
Then
yeah.
we get a little backstage segment,
Yeah, they have a little laugh at
just
Punk's expense.
we used to have every Friday night when we were eating real good.
Yeah.
Sa
Roman
Roman
delivers his
says
fake
he's gonna
laugh.
go out there, he says, "Look, I don't need an apology, but Punk owes you guys one, so I'm gonna go out there and get it."
What's he gonna do? Beat me up?
Yeah,
That fake laugh he does.
yeah.
So then Roman goes out there and he calls out Phil, and Punk shows up, and Punk proceeds to, correct me if I'm wrong, Skeeter, but Punk proceeds to tell Roman that he's in his head.
Mhm.
And what else did they
Yeah.
talk about? They go back and forth about some stuff.
Well,
And then
Roman
Roman calls
started
him old.
out, he was, Roman's getting his cheers. He's saying, "Look, this is my show. I'm the main event. You can't even main event the European tour, all this stuff." And yeah, it was relatively basic until the end there, which you referenced. But yeah, see, Roman says, "Look, yeah, I know you're trying to get in my head. You're the guy that gets in everyone's head. That's what you're famous for." But then it seems like we get a little bit of a turn of the tables, which I
Okay.
thought was interesting because we get last week we came on here and talked about it, or at least I remember me positing that yes, it came off like that. The "I'll bury you next to your dad" line was out of the blue of sorts, but it clearly was, and they're portraying it as like Punk was trying to get in Roman's head. But Roman apparently knew that. And the twist is he apparently knows how to get in Punk's head because he tells Punk, you're just too old. And that's why I'm gonna beat you and need to beat you is you're just too old. And that sets Punk off. So I think that was an interesting turn that a seemingly innocuous line, that is the line for the normally, the master of the mind game CM Punk, that he has been beaten at his own game at least for a week.
Now, you don't see this as a Jade Rhea situation with
I do
bicep
not.
size. Why?
Well, because he is what, 5 years older,
Right.
6 years
But
older.
Jade is also visibly bigger than Rhea.
Mm, I
The
mean, I
point
get it,
is,
but
why
also this was better stuff.
sure, better stuff, but my complaint here is the same complaint that I had 2 weeks ago when Punk made the statement about I'm going to bury you next to your dead dad or like your dead dad or something, right? It felt like that was just like a playground insult for insult's sake. Like it didn't seem to fit into the narrative that's being told here. Roman says all these things about Punk,
Mhm.
and Punk seemed to be what, I don't know, Teflon with him,
Yep.
right? And then he just makes the statement that you're just too old, and this is what triggers Punk.
See, that's the
This is
part
what
I
triggers
love.
him.
That's the part I love. That yes, seemingly of all the things, the Roman has figured out exactly what is going to be the insecurity of CM Punk. Out of all the things, he knew and saved it to the end just to needle him. That's at least how I took it. That, normally it's CM Punk getting the last line. Normally when CM Punk tells someone, I'll bury you next to your dad, they're going to go off the deep end, but not the tribal chief. That game plan backfired on CM Punk for maybe the first time. Not only did it backfire in he may have reunited the bloodline against him, at least, but it backfired in the sense that it didn't work. Roman knew what he was doing. And more than that, Roman knows how to play the game he's trying to play, maybe better than him. So it puts Punk, the CM Punk character, in a newer situation where someone is as good, or at least portrayed in the story as, even if you don't believe it, is as good at this as he is. And that's new for him.
Okay, see, part of me disagrees fundamentally with.
Well, Roman already talked to you earlier in that promo.
Did he?
Said, yeah, he said, people want me to show up and not be a part timer. He said, I'm gonna be a full time father.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what he
good for
respect.
you.
That's what he listened to you a couple weeks ago and told you.
Good. You know what? Good for you. Good for you. Here's my thing. I think I objectively take less umbrance with the idea of Punk being triggered by being called old. I would take this less as an issue if I felt like WWE expected their fans to have consistency across storytelling. Why is this an acceptable insult for a feud, but Jade and Rhea's stuff is not acceptable? Though it makes sense, and both do, I think that honestly, I think they were both kind of weak. I thought that the overall segment of Roman and Punk was pretty good. But I think just like 2 weeks ago, when Punk delivered the dead dad, I didn't hear a bunch of ohs in the crowd because I think it was kind of weak. I think it was kind of weak writing. I think it was a weak setup. And I think the delivery did not land. I think you can rewind the tape and you can look at it and see how the crowd reacted to it. You and I can have our own personal feelings on it, but when I looked at the crowd, they didn't seem to respond in the moment like either A, it hit them, or B, they got it. And if it doesn't land on stage, like you can tell the narrative story all you want, I'm down. But we can't fool ourselves into saying that was a killer line because it wasn't.
Oh, I
This,
don't I don't think it was in and of itself. And I get what you're saying that if you judge it on the reaction of the live crowd, yeah, it didn't have one of those. Oh, I think the story is Punk's reaction is that you wouldn't expect that to be the line, but it was. And where do we go from there? Where do we expand on the fact that this is an insecurity CM Punk has that we didn't know, but Roman Reigns knew about
right,
and was going to needle him?
right.
I think that's where it's interesting in there to me. But
Sure.
I do understand your perspective, especially like, yeah, there was no, it didn't go off to huge crowd cheers and stuff like that. But I think that's okay sometimes.
So for me, I'm looking at the fact that we are 4 weeks out from WrestleMania.
Hmm.
The show is going to be what the show is going to be. There is two things here that I am trying to pay attention to at the very same time. Narratively, what the story is, and is the story landing? Those are two different things. I can acknowledge narratively what's happening here, right? All the things that you just laid out, that Roman knows what Punk's trigger is, that Roman may be trying to play this game better than Punk is, and maybe Punk is on the back foot and Roman is the one who's in control when we thought, or he thought, Punk thought that it was the other way around, right? I get that. That could be what's written on the big board in the writer's room. I get the story. Is it landing? I don't know. Because all the pops are coming from their entrances. All the pops are coming from who they are. You know what I'm saying? All the pops are coming from when CM Punk comes out, when Roman comes out. The biggest pop that this story has gotten narratively has been between Punk and the Usos. That's been the biggest pop so far because the stuff between Punk and Roman has been fine. I think they delivered fine. I think they're both great performers and they performed their parts well. They told the story exactly how it was written on the big board. But when you get to the end of it, when you're supposed to get this hook that hooks the audience, I feel like the narrative aspect of this has fallen flat. The idea about your dead dad thing, it didn't land. And if I'm not mistaken, when you watch the clip of when Punk says, maybe you're just getting old, and Punk punches him, the crowd didn't go, oh, they didn't do it then either. Because I don't think the crowd got it. Because I think the crowd in the moment was thinking, you hit him over that? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense. And I think that here's one of the problems, not with Roman, but I think one of the problems is when you are at a status of a Roman, a status of a Punk, right? You've had the 1,000+ day run, one of the greatest storylines ever told with the bloodline, and you're as prolific on the microphone as a CM Punk is. I think the crowd has a higher expectation than what you're always able to deliver. And I think that they've been
I
bringing
okay.
stuff to the
Yeah,
dance.
I think that plays into it a lot.
You know what I'm saying? I think they've been bringing stuff to the dance, but it's like it's not on the caliber of what the fans expect from these two. And so you get to these points, and it's like the fans want to love it because they love Roman and they love Punk and they want to see where they're going with this, right? But I think where you're telling the story narratively, the story ain't making a lot of sense. It did in the very beginning. It did in the very beginning because that first promo between Punk and Roman, where Punk ended stuff with like, I hate you and you will acknowledge me, the crowd lost it then. They loved every part of that. They ate it up because
Yeah,
narratively,
that's been the high point.
what they were telling there was juicy. It had meat to it. And
But
we
this
questioned
is
then I wonder where they go with this because I
yeah,
don't know how
and
much
I
further
think
you go.
it's been a logical extension. I think we'll get another one, maybe two super high points. But if Roman is going to show up at TV, they can't all be 10 out of 10s because then that makes the 10 out of 10 really not the peak of things. You know what I mean? And you kind of hit on it in a way, and like maybe the audience expectations are so up there that you're never going to meet them.
Right.
I think I still I'm and you've acknowledged that like narratively you get it. And I also get that, that neither of the crowd we have not gone off the air on either of those two segments to the big like, oh, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they were designed to do that. I mean, they were probably designed to get some reactions, but
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm looking for a story that's being told coherently that is somewhat subverting my expectations, I am getting that. That first promo, I'm going to beat you because I hate you, that sets up the whole, you know, we've got our confrontation, the match is set, and the last two have been Punk's obvious attempt to get in Roman Reigns' head, and then Roman Reigns coming back and essentially saying, "You didn't get in my head at all. I know that's what you were trying to do, but I know exactly how to get into your head." And I, as the fan I am, biased or not, accepting that, maybe there is some bias in there, I am excited for next week to see where they go and where they play off that and tell me, do we dive deeper into like, oh, it seems like Punk is actually pretty insecure about being the old guy. How do we dive deeper into that? How does Roman exploit that more? How do the Usos keep factoring into this? Which I think was a great move for them to bring the Usos back into this. So I'm excited to see where they go. For me, it's all been landing. I'm not saying it's the most perfect segment ever, but I was very, very thoroughly sports entertained.
Yeah. So I think for me, I am always down to understand the narrative of a story, right? Like that's part of the impetus for the creation of this podcast, right? Down with the stories. The stories matter, characters matter. That's been day one ish over here. That does not remove the necessity for the story to land. It does not remove the necessity for the story to be good. Just because I understand narratively what you're telling doesn't mean that what you're telling me is that great. And listen, honest take, you should not be delivering subpar this close to Mania. Like, if there's any time in the year where you should be aiming for delivering your best shit, it should be now. So, like, you can't serve me this medium quality steak. Like, this is not what we're
You got some
here for.
high, high standards.
But you know what? I have high standards because they set them that way. And you can't have it both ways. You can't be the marquee person, right? Who has done all of these things and set the bar so high and lay claim to the fact that I'm the guy who set the bar so high, but don't hold me to the high standard that I set. Are you kidding? No, you have to. That's what you earned. And that burden falls on your shoulders. Not yours, obviously, but like the burden falls on your shoulders. That is the burden that you carry for being at the top. And you can't burden shift, right? You can't burden shift to the fans for having high expectations when you set the expectations that high. Like, I'm sorry, that is a thing that as WWE, mainly because at the end of the day, this is a production that WWE puts on. And most people, particularly not Roman Reigns and CM Punk, are not going out there going into business for themselves, quote unquote, right? They're doing the plan as the plan is laid, right? So I think more of this falls on WWE, right? This is your time to shine. This is when you have the most eyes on your product at any other time of the year. This is when you're trying to sell the most expensive tickets to the biggest show that's supposed to be the culmination of your stories. You should not be delivering things 4 weeks out from WrestleMania that are this. And I put less of that blame on Roman and less of that blame on Punk because I feel like they're going out there and they're doing the part that they're supposed to be doing. But at what point do we look at what's happening here with an objective lens and not a subjective one? Because
Ever.
subjectively,
Because that's not how entertainment works.
yeah, I get it. That's true.
We have differing opinions here.
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit that maybe because these are two of my favorites, I am more biased to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked it for what it was. I liked it for where it can go.
I
While also acknowledging that yeah, it didn't get the immediate live reaction that's like this is one of the greatest segments. But I don't I, but I differ in that like I really don't think it has to. I think this still is set up and has potential to be like one of the marquee matches of all time. Because when you get in the ring, it's going to be two of the biggest stars of all time going at it who have a long personal history. We've still got 4 weeks to hit some home run segments. I think they've been hitting doubles the past couple weeks. I don't fault them for it.
listen. I think that
I know we come to the game to see Barry Bonds hit the home runs, but sometimes he just knocks a line drive double into the wall.
yeah, but no one talks about the line drive double.
Right.
Like
And
like
we won't talk and I don't think in a year we will talk about this and be like, "Yeah, that was good, but remember that one Raw 5 weeks out from Mania, that just wasn't the greatest." But that's also like part of what we set up for ourselves in doing a podcast every week.
Yeah.
is that sometimes we have to miss the forest for the trees because we stop and talk about that tree for 3 hours every week, and we don't get the next tree until next week.
Yeah. And listen,
And
I
that is an
understand that.
in that is an inartful analogy, but
No, listen, I get it.
I think you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I'm just waiting patiently to see what the story is that they're trying to tell, right? We will oftentimes get on this podcast and speculate on what happens next in a story, but oftentimes that speculation is based on the amount of story and what the story is that was laid out before the speculative conversation began. That requires sometimes a cohesive narrative to drive a direction for our thoughts. Sometimes, in my opinion, in this instant, we don't have that cohesive storytelling that's driving us in a particular direction. It's
You
leaving
don't
a
think?
lot of
I
things
see, I
open
think we
ended.
have I think what I've laid out is pretty cohesively
I
the
agree
story
because I
that's
think that you are,
unfolded up until this point.
I agree because I think that you have a very creative mind. And I think that,
I don't think but even I would say that I would give you that had Roman not said in that backstage with the Usos exactly that, "No, I'm not upset. He's just trying to get in my head. That's what he does." And then he did a whole promo and where he's like, "You're supposed to be the master of the mind games, but that's all you got." And then he gets Punk to punch him and get all upset and Roman's laughing at him and then Roman has the camera come close and goes like, "That's your guy. That's the master of this. I just did it better than him." They told us that what I said is the story. They really did. Or they had Roman Reigns tell you that in not even veiled language. He said that was the story. Again, I can accept that, like, maybe that's not landing with everyone the way it's landing with me, but he did say all those things.
when you said that, it did remind me that he did say that.
Yeah, he did. A lot of his promo was talking about like, man, you're supposed to be this guy that you're supposed to be Mr. Pipe Bomb and all that. Like, you didn't affect me. Watch me do it to you. And then it really sealed it when he got punched and he's laughing on the ropes because he knows he set out there to needle Punk the way Punk tried to needle him, and he did it. And that's what hooks me is like, you would think, like, oh, it's going to be Punk with the pipe bomb and the personal reference that gets under someone's skin because that's what CM Punk always does. But not here. And now not only do we know not here, Roman may be right. Maybe he is too old for this. Maybe he is. Even though it's, 5, 6 years, it's still something. Maybe he
Yeah.
is too old. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Like I think I agree with you in the sense that maybe it's just not landing for me. Like maybe it's just not landing for me. Like
Well,
because I
why don't
get
you
all
call
of it.
Samoa Joe? You call Samoa Joe and ask him who your tribal chief is.
Listen, whoever the tribal chief is has absolutely Dickie McGee's act to do with whether or not the story is landing for me, right? And I think that there's some people out there who, because they love Roman, that this is landing for them better than it is for some. And
Who
that's
are you talking?
fine.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you and I'm talking
Whoa!
about
Hey!
others. I think that there's some people out there who love Roman and this is landing. And I don't think this is bad, but I just don't think it's that great. And I'm not talking about just Roman, I'm talking about Punk too. Like the whole dad buried thing. Like it just
See, I think if anything, that was the one that was designed to be more of a live crowd hit than it was. And I'm surprised it wasn't, to be honest. But maybe they overestimated the amount of people that know who Roman Reigns' father was and that he had passed away. But that's still that is strange to me that it got the reaction or didn't get the reaction that I thought it would.
yeah, I couldn't tell you why other people it didn't land for them, but I can only tell you like why it didn't land for me because it felt like based on what we built off of in the first interaction, right? That energy that was brought there was a lot of things that we as the fans were able to at least observe ourselves or go back and observe, right? the story that's been laid out with the Shield and about how Punk brought them in, and Seth has laid the groundwork for a lot of this hate impetus that Roman is now running with, right? And it worked. It landed, and it was all delivered perfectly. Roman capped that segment off like a pro, and it worked. It landed. The crowd popped. It was great. It set the expectation for the next promo to turn itself around, and Punk is going to land his blow, right? Because that's how we're starting to build this.
Yeah.
And then when you got to the end and he landed the dead dad thing, I'm just like, where did dead daddies come into this whole equation? Like, we ain't been talking nothing about dead pops or dead bloodline people at all. Where did that come from? It felt like someone on a playground who's getting insulted, and then they just pull something out of their ass. It's like, well, I was kissing your mom yesterday. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about, dude?
Makes you want to come back at him and then look in the camera and be like, "This is the guy. That's the best he had."
If this is the story, and this is the story that they're telling, if this is the story that they're telling, Skeeter, and this is all the narrative through line, and this is all by design, I definitely need to wait for the other shoe to drop. Because this shoe that's dropped, if this is the story that you want me to get invested in, you gonna really have to sell me on this shit. Because I'm looking forward to seeing the match, because I like Roman and I like Punk, right? And I believe that it has the potential to really get me storyline hooked, right? Hell, Cody and Randy hooked me on one segment told so much story because it roped in so many things that have been laid down prior to, without even addressing it as being directly tied to the story, because we already know the relationship between Randy and Cody. We already know what that relationship is like, right? And I was lost last episode because I was like, why are they putting the title back on Cody? I don't get that, right? But then you put this out there and I'm like, got me, because this all makes sense. So I'm patiently waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Because the Cody Randy segment was the other shoe for me, right? It didn't make sense, and then it dropped, and now I'm in, right? So I will wait for the other shoe to drop here, because right now I see what they're setting up. I see what they're trying to do. I know what the main event is because obviously Roman won the Rumble, right? So we know what it is. Does the story warrant the main event scene? That's what I'm waiting to see, because right now the story feels beneath Punk and Roman. I think that they have a status here. I think there's an expectation here. And I don't think that this story is living up to it. Not right now. It has potential, and I'm waiting to see. I will wait to see patiently. I'm not writing it off like I know some people on the internet probably will, right? But I'm not writing it off. We have to see where it goes, because right now I just feel like this caliber of story is beneath Roman. I think it's beneath Punk. I just don't think it's up to the level that they have set for themselves and that the company has set for them. Particularly when you coming off the bloodline stuff, it's hard to go back to something that does not feel like it's up to the level that the company has set for these two individuals. And so we got 4 weeks to see what WWE is going to pull together to make this make sense for someone like myself, because I will be the first person to tell you that, like, I don't speak for everyone. And that's the lovely, wonderful thing about wrestling, right? Is that it can hit for some people. It may not hit for others, right? But we come back each and every week because we have faith in the product, and we have faith in the fact that WWE will tie this together in a way that makes sense, particularly for people and storylines that they care about. We just went and talked about the whole Natty thing, right? And what it seems to feel like when the company don't really care about what the story's going. I think they care about this, and I think they want this to work. And so I think that whatever it is that they're putting together, they have a plan. I will wait for it, and I can be of two minds. I can be of one mind that I think they have some room to make this work. I'll wait for the other shoe to drop, right? And I can also think in the moment, which is, while I'm waiting, this isn't landing for me. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I get where they're going storyline wise, but it just is not landing. And I think there are people that were in that live audience who it didn't land for them either. And It didn't land this week. It didn't land 2 weeks ago.
And I think you're all horribly, horribly wrong. Misguided folks out there. But that's okay. That's okay.
That's fine. We will be guided and / misguided together, because that's what we do as wrestling fans. I actually found out that so I had a job interview today,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out that the guys that I was interviewing with,
Mhm.
wrestling fans.
There you go.
I brought up the podcast as
There you
something
go.
that we were talking about at the start of the interview. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I do a pro wrestling podcast. And the guy sat back in his chair. He was like, you do a pro wrestling podcast? I was like, yeah, it's called the Lariat Lounge. I host it with my friend Andrew. And yeah, it's doing really well, man. We broke top 150 in the country. He's like, in the country. He looked at the other guy. He's like, where did you find this guy?
Yeah.
Like, and then I found out that this guy who I've interviewed with like 2 other times, right, for other positions, is also a wrestling fan. We got talking about like the Attitude
There you
Era,
go.
and this dude I interviewed with pulled out his phone, showed me a picture because I guess he had a past in like working in media before he came to the company. He showed me a picture of him with Paul White, Big Show,
Mm-hmm.
Sting, and God, who else was in that picture? Paul White, Sting, and Bret Hart.
Okay.
Bret Hart. So I think this was when Bret was in WCW.
This would have been very this sometime late 97, early 98.
Something like
Because
that.
then early 99 we would debut the Big Show. So
Yeah.
very small window of time that could happen.
Very small window of time. But he was backstage. He had like a black suit jacket on and a black bow tie. I think he was doing some media thing back there. And yeah, he took a picture with those guys. And I was just like, oh man, that is really cool. I think we got new listeners. And
nice. There you go.
That's awesome. And that's just the power of wrestling.
Welcome to the lounge, folks.
Welcome to the lounge, guys. Welcome to the lounge. And thank you all for hanging out with us. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love talking wrestling with my co-host. I love the fact that Skeena and I can have these conversations and we don't agree on everything all the time. And that's good. I like a healthy conversation, a healthy debate around something that we love. And I do love the fact that professional wrestling can be subjective. It is a subjective thing. And everything does not have to land with you all the time for the product to be doing well. And I think the product is doing well. It's doing the best I think it's ever been. And so waiting to see what happens next is not a cop-out answer when I say it. I genuinely mean it. Like, I have a feeling about something, but I'm willing to sit and wait and see, because we talked about this in early episodes, Skeena, that like, if you're a wrestling fan right now, the company should have earned a bit of equity with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if it's not landing, it should have earned enough equity with you to sit with it and let it play out and see how it lands, because they've done this before and they've made it work before. So it's not a cop-out when I say we will have to wait and see. One, we have no choice. And two, because wait and see, they may turn this around in a way that is going to work out for you. Skeena, before we wrap up, your takeaway from this week in wrestling, anything that we talked about from Friday to today.
It's gonna play off my take from last week and kind of what you just said there at the end and our entire discussion there to close the show. And I'm gonna say the fasten seatbelt sign, it's still on, folks. It's still on. Don't take that seatbelt off, because we got something with Randy and Cody last week. I guarantee you. And we got Oba and Brock. I guarantee you. We got 2 more shows. We're going to be coming back talking about something huge that happened on SmackDown or Raw next week. Maybe with Roman and Punk, because they'll both be there again. So we'll see. But I think we're getting something big. So stay in your seats, stay buckled. I don't want you thrown all over the aisle or anything.
I think my takeaway for this week is going to be pay very close attention to who is being positioned right now in WWE as the stars of tomorrow. I was just reminded on Monday in the opening segment when Obafemi came out to challenge Brock. When I saw how Brock was working with Oba actively in the ring to make that moment bigger than what it could be, it just reminded me of how Brock was pushed in '02 and how much of a cornerstone to WWE he has been over a decade plus. We talk about Braun Breaker all the time. You are seeing in real time people who could very well be the cornerstones for generations of wrestling fans after us. We're watching them be made. And I have never been more excited about a class of wrestlers coming up from NXT who I genuinely believe are going to make such a significant impact on future product than I am right now. And I am so excited to see what they do because we're watching them be made right now. So just pay attention and just watch with bated breath as these things are being birthed in front of us because it's something that is awesome, and you look back on it and you'll remember when they put this person over, when they made this star. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of the Lariat Lounge. My man Skeener, please let everyone know where they can tune in each and every week to get this type of conversation that I guarantee you're not going to find anywhere else on the internet. You're not going to find conversation like this about the world of professional wrestling on any other podcast.
The Lariat Lounge, this beautiful podcast. We're coming at you once a week, every week. You can find us on YouTube. That's where you'll find the video podcast and an audio version of our podcast on YouTube, as well as our old episodes. That's where our PLE live streams are. Our big WrestleMania stream, we will be together for the first time streaming, doing it from one location, not two. So that'll be coming up here in a couple weeks, 4 weeks, I believe to be exact, 4 weeks and some change. But you can go to YouTube, search the Lariat Lounge. That's where you'll find us. If you like the audio podcast, that's still everywhere you get your shows, all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else your shows are. That's where we are. We're over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. Everson's going to send me that picture of Rhea and Jade, and we're going to talk about it over there. We're going to put a poll up, see what you all think, whose side you're on here. And as always, feel free to send us an email at thelariatlounge@gmail.com.
Indeed. And listen, guys, wherever you're listening, we genuinely do appreciate it. So leave us a like rating wherever it is that you are. It's a small thing for you, but for us, it means the world. So we really do appreciate it. Before we go, Skeener, we've got one email.
We do. From our good buddy Gage.
What up, Gage?
You got it pulled up there?
Oh, I was waiting on you to
Oh,
read it.
you waiting on me to do it.
Yes,
Okay.
this is your
Gotcha.
segment.
So our good buddy Gage, who's keeping himself company in the email inbox now. Someone please go keep
Free
him
that
company.
man.
So he's
Please,
not so
free him
so
or
he's
join
not
him.
so low. Yes, preferably join him because we like
Agreed.
Gage in the inbox. We just want more of you in there. So Gage writes in. Gage says, so I was thinking of a what if scenario. If/when Cody turns heel, in parentheses, in the near future, don't know about that, we'll talk about it. He cuts a promo about being the golden boy and how he needs the WWE Championship back because it's his birthright. Insert NXT stable birthright, and we learn he's been the one pulling the strings for them this entire time. Do you think Cody could lead and elevate a group of rising stars on the main roster?
First of all, Gage, thank you for that. I thought that was a great email. First of all, I have to ask a clarifying question. Skeener, is there a stable in NXT called Birthright, or is that part of like his idea? Okay, I did not know that.
No, there is it's Charlie Dempsey, Lexus King, Uriah Connors, and Stax.
Okay. And they must all be legacy athletes?
I believe they all are.
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with all their families, but I will look that up if you want me to.
So
we obviously know Lexus King is Brian Pillman's kid.
Right. So, first of all, Gage, great question. Secondly, I absolutely think that Cody as a heel could absolutely serve in the same role that Randy Orton did with Legacy. I think he could absolutely elevate some fresh face talent.
So Charlie Dempsey is Regal's son. I wanted to confirm that
Okay.
before I said it, but yeah, Charlie Dempsey is Regal's son.
Okay.
And then I would assume the other two are. Those are the two I didn't know about. Uriah Connors and Stax.
Okay.
Uriah Connors, let me look it up. I is that Finley's other kid, I think?
Hmm.
Yes. Yes, he is. He is Fit Finley's youngest son.
Okay. So Uriah Connors is Fit Finley's son. Dempsey
So yeah,
is uh, Regal's son. Lexus King is Pillman's son.
yes.
And that leaves us with Stax.
Stax, who I had no idea was a second generation wrestler or third if he is. I do not believe he is, or at least not related to a very famous wrestler, unless you count that he is engaged to Santino's daughter, Ariana Grace.
Hmm. Let's go with that for now.
Okay.
Do I think that Cody could elevate a stable like that? I'm assuming they are a heel stable. They seem like a heel stable.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I think a heel Cody could absolutely elevate a heel stable like that. I think Cody is at the point in his career, height wise, within the hierarchy, that when he turns heel, which I think he eventually will, I think that if he were to lay something out like that, like it's my birthright, and then you find out that he's been pulling the strings, and these guys have been going on a winning streak, and they haven't been losing anything, or they're getting opportunities that no one else is getting, and then you find out that Cody's been pulling the strings because he introduces them onto the main roster. I think that would be an amazing thing for Cody's career because I think every big star needs a stable. They need to have headed a stable at some point in their career, right? And I think that it would work incredibly well for these young talent who just need to be put in the right position. I think you can have talented people, and if they're never put in a position to get eyeballs on them in a particular way, they're going to struggle. They're going to have a hard time. And I think you have some people who will absolutely be elevated simply by being in a stable. So I've never seen any of these four men. Uh, uh, I've seen Lexus King before, but the other three, I don't think I've ever seen them. But I feel like if Cody were to co-sign them and were to head this stable called Birthright, and he's the head of it, yeah, I think it could absolutely work. I said it sounded like a great idea when you said it, and I've been pondering on it all day since I read the email. And yeah, I think it. I think the idea writes itself, Gage. I think that's a great idea. I have nothing to add to it. That is excellent. If they did that, I think it would absolutely work. But Skeeter, your thoughts?
Yeah, the idea's good. I think like it flows so well between what you were talking about, like Cody saying birthright, and the stable called Birthright. Love the idea. If Cody's gonna do it, I guess it doesn't have to be like a surefire thing. I think it would work. Ted DiBiase Jr. was in Legacy, and his legacy is probably not what WWE envisioned it would be
Nope.
at this point. So, I'm a big fan of Lexus King. I'm not as sold on Stacks, Connors, and
D-
Dempsey.
yeah.
I think Lexus King has the potential to be a huge star. But the idea I love. I think the parallels are so good because you have it essentially, Triple H has evolution. If you want to say even, that comes from, he's got his own horseman, but Triple H has evolution, then Randy evolves and has his own stable with Cody in it, and then Cody comes down and has his own stable. I think that definitely works if we get a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Do we? Probably, because pretty much everyone does turn the other foot. Even Cena, although that was a different case. If there was anyone I would be worried that like never turns the other foot, and kind of like John Cena, I think it may be Cody, but I still think it will happen soon. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but I do love the idea. I do love the idea. I'm just worried more about the if you're thinking it'll be soon, I don't know if it's going to be soon. I think it may be a couple years, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
That is
Fantastic. The idea is fantastic.
agreed.
The idea and you connecting it like that is awesome.
I 1000% agree, Gage. Thank you for that email. That was an incredible question. I think the idea is awesome. I think if
Better
they,
than some stuff I would come up with. So
I
here you
don't
go.
disagree. I do not disagree. I think that
I don't
idea
know.
is
Well,
wonderful.
okay. It depends on how you think of it because like yeah, that's a very creative guy or that's a very creative idea for the internet guys and for the podcast. But I give you Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley in a pose down and an arm wrestling contest and that would set social media on fire, not just wrestling podcasts.
I wonder for what reasons.
For all types of reasons.
You're right.
You keep making it a thing like that and it's not.
What kind of thing am I making it?
You're
Hmm?
you're throwing
Hmm?
some sexual
That
undertones
is,
in there,
I didn't
and
say
that is
that.
not what it's
I
about.
didn't
That
say that at
is
all.
what you are
I
insinuating.
did not insinuate that at all. In fact, it's not even. It's in fact it's the opposite.
You hide some devious
It's the
intentions behind that
opposite.
mask.
It is
I
the
don't think so.
opposite. I think it would set the internet on fire for the opposite reason. I think that people would look at that and they would think, wow, we have really stepped back in time. And like we were going for great storytelling and now we're doing pose downs again. And we're
Post down
doing
is
like
great storytelling. Think of Danhausen in a quiz bowl against someone.
I,
That would be so good.
I think on its own it'd be good. Like if that was on his YouTube channel, that would be good.
We can do it on YouTube. Do it wherever.
I think that would be
Let me
fine on
see it.
his YouTube channel, but like not on the main show. And that's only works with him because Danhausen's character is one that can get away with that. But
Do
you're
you
talking
remember?
about out of character stuff for Rhea. That is out of
Okay,
character.
but not for Jade.
You were talking about stuff being out of character for Rhea, not Jade.
MVP and Matt Hardy played basketball. They played one on one. That didn't fit with Matt Hardy's character, but it was brilliant.
And ridiculous. Brilliant
But
and
it worked.
ridiculous.
But it worked.
For
Mark
what?
Henry. Mark Henry pulled an 18-wheeler.
Because he's the world's strongest man.
Yeah, this is Jade and Rhea, and they're
He's
arguing about.
showing.
They're talking about who's bigger.
Yeah,
Let's get them in pose
Jade and
down.
Rhea are not the world's strongest women, nor are they claiming to be. Like if Jade came out and said, "I'm Jade Cargill, I'm the world's strongest woman," if that was her moniker, that'd be one thing, right? But it's not. That was Henry's whole thing. Was he was the strongest man in the world. He won the strongman contest. That's his whole thing, right? You're talking about out of character for Rhea to acknowledge an obvious truth, right? But it's not out of character for her to do a pose down. That,
No,
sir.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
uh,
She'd be posing on Instagram all the time.
and
Let her
listen,
do it on
and like I
TV.
said the other week, if you did something where it was indirect, right? Like Jade posted a picture of her like posing by the pool, and then Rhea decides she's gonna post a picture of her posing in her house, right? Okay, that kind of makes sense because they post things online, right? But for them to do a pose down in the ring is so out of character for them on the show for both of them. But it would set the internet on fire. It would set
You
the
did.
internet on
You
fire.
must have not played enough. Here comes the pain.
No, but you know what I have been playing a lot of? 2K26. Keep your eyes on the product, folks. We will be adding this to the lineup on the Lariat Lounge on YouTube. Skeeter and I just have to work out the logistics of when we're going to sit down and do this. But I have been playing quite a bit of My Rise, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am enjoying the updated combat system. It feels a lot more intuitive than it did in 24. 24 wasn't bad, but I'm enjoying it. I'm
Oh yeah,
getting.
because you missed 25.
Yeah, I
So
didn't play 25.
okay.
24 was fine, and I just at the time I didn't really have a reason to keep playing it, and so I just kind of put it down. And then 25, I didn't even bother. And I
Mhm.
only picked this up because I thought it was a great idea for us to
Well,
to play it on the pod.
we're gonna do it.
We are going to do it. So
We
be
are
on the
gonna
lookout
do
for
it.
that because it's going to be fun. Skeeter and I are going to win the tag team championship somewhere. And then we're probably going to have a segment where he turns on me and throws me through a plate glass window of a barbershop scene. So
You're lucky we can't book pose downs like in Here Comes the Pain.
No, boy, we can book some other things.
You did see. That's the thing. Maybe that's why I like the pose down so much. Is no matter who you did the season mode with, if you got in a feud with Triple H because that came out in 2003, and early in 2003 when that game would have been in development, Triple H and Scott Steiner had the pose down. So no matter who you were, if you feuded with Triple H, you would do a pose down against him. Even if you were the Hurricane, you would do a pose down against Triple H.
And that's why it's ingrained in you. You know
But
what? This is all
because it's a
making
great
sense
idea.
now.
Because it's a great idea.
It's all making sense now. It's Here Comes the Pain. I get it.
Danhausen in a pose down.
I guess it could happen. I
Yeah.
guess it could happen. But hey, listen, guys, tune in. Make sure you keep up with what's going on here. We will be playing 2K26 on the YouTube channel. Skeens and I's got to work out those logistics, but it's going to be fun. But that's all for this week, folks. From your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens, this has been another edition of
Wait. How do I do this again?
No, wait, I messed it up.
Yeah. Nope, that's wrong. There we go.
This has been another edition of
You
the
gotta
Lariat
practice.
Lounge.
I'll practice.
Please watch yourself on the way out.